sweep of the Cubs. Bump an undefeated season still in play for the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now.
Our cup runneth over with sound. We have the latest from Cooper Kupp, who had a long press conference with the media yesterday, also spoke with Wyman and Bob. We learned a ton about not just what brought him to Seattle, what that pursuit behind the scenes was like, how he felt emotionally, right? You get the news that you're going to be traded, and then you don't get traded, so then it's a completely new landscape of teams that are interested in you. And also, we're going to talk a little bit later in the show about what he thinks he still has left to give. I found that to be the most interesting answer, so I'm going to save it.
Okay.
I feel like I'm cheating you guys out of sound right now, but my favorite cut I am actually saving for a little later in the show because I thought it deserved its own focus. So, Bump, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump to some of what Cooper had to say. This was from the press conference about the surreal nature of now playing for the team he grew up watching.
It's a really cool thing. Obviously, growing up in Yakima, watching the Seattle Seahawks growing up, and I've talked a lot about memories and experiences. I mean, that's what football is, right? It's like it's remembering all those big moments. And we're walking through the halls back here. It's like looking at these photos of iconic, just moments in games and being able to recognize, like, man, I remember where I was when that happened and that moment happened. And growing up watching Seattle, watching football being a huge part of my life, and then playing in Eastern Washington, full circle moment coming back to being able to throw on a Seattle Seahawks uniform. That's a really cool thing, and something that I don't take lightly, and just really excited to be able to be a part of this program, what this program's been about, and continue to move it forward.
I know that just sounds like, just basic emotional answer. Okay, but I actually think that very much mattered to him and did play in Seattle's favor.
Yeah, that's like if I were to grow up and play for the Lakers. Like, that was my squad.
Right.
I couldn't imagine being in that position. Now, when you get a chance to play in the NFL, you'll play for whoever takes you. It doesn't matter. But then some guys reach a point in their career where they can make decisions. Now, it happened because he got released by the Rams. We understand that, but he had a great career over there. But at 31 years of age, now, he was one of the hottest receivers on the market, and he got to choose where he wanted to go. Obviously, there were some other teams involved, but he chose the home team for a good reason. They're going to pay you probably what you're worth, $15 million a year, and you get to relive all these things he just talked about, walking through the halls and seeing these moments in time that he can remember exactly where he was. He went to Davis High School in Yakima, went to Eastern Washington, toured up there. This is the fairy tale ending right here. It might end here, it might end somewhere else, but at least he got a quick stop here, whether it be for 2-3 years. It doesn't matter. This is what people dream about. He's won his Super Bowl. He has a Super Bowl MVP. Now he's playing for his home team. If I were lacing it up with LeBron right now, Stacy, I'd be on top of the world.
I wouldn't say you'd play for free, but they could be like, we got some coupons.
Yeah, we got school. Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, we can give you gear.
Some Dave and Buster points.
Some tickets. Dave and Buster points. I love Dave and Buster's. Some tickets. We've got some extra hot dogs from vendors.
We can
negotiate.
negotiate.
Let's suit up. Let's do this. All right. Let's see. This was another interesting one. I keep forgetting. In my mind, Doug Baldwin is not older, and Cooper Kupp is an older veteran. But Cooper talked about modeling some of his game after Baldwin.
Being able to see what guys do and say, hey, is that something that I can do? Is this something that I want to implement in my game? And we were just talking down the hall. Doug Baldwin, one of the best come to balance releases in history. And little pieces of game, it's like little pieces of game like that. It's like, man, that's something that I do. It's watching Doug Baldwin do that stuff to guys, turn people around all the time, part of what in my bag. It's something that I carry with me. And so it is. There's guys that have come through this organization that have been impactful in ways they might not know about how I play the game.
Do you see a bit of Baldwin's game in Cooper Kupp?
A little bit. Their styles are different.
Yeah.
Doug Baldwin was had a bit more wiggle to his game. Even though Cooper Kupp has a bit of that, he's a bit more stiff when it comes to that come-to-balance release. Yeah.
He had a lot.
But I see a little bit of it. You can always pick. There's some things that every receiver is going to do. They just do it differently. Like the come-to-balance release, what he's talking about is when you're in your two-point stance as a receiver, 1 foot up, 1 foot behind, and as soon as the ball is snapped, you split, and it's like you're playing basketball, you're trying to cross a guy over. Kupp does that all the time. It just looks different from Doug Baldwin because of DNA and just how their body is made. But Doug Baldwin was one of the best come-to-balance releases I've ever seen. Him, Stephon Diggs, Devontae Adams, probably 3 top that I've seen in my years watching and covering the game. And you see a little bit of that with Cooper Kupp. It's cool that he's 31 years of age, yet he's referencing somebody that we thought we just saw like 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the connection and how quick things kind of move through the NFL as far as personnel or whatnot. I love that he referenced Doug Baldwin, one of the best to do it over here.
Well, also, I know that we're technically talking about Cooper Kupp to open the show, but one of the most underrated wide receivers, I am comfortable saying ever. Not the most underrated ever, but it's almost like you'd look around and you go, what other context do you need? I know he was undrafted, right? But he still was the #1 receiver on a Super Bowl team. You would think that that would make the case. I think maybe because everyone saw that Super Bowl team in that era of Seahawks as being, oh, it's a defensive team.
Yeah.
They're defense. So, outside of Marshawn Lynch, no one ever got as much credit. I don't know, though. I don't know why that perception of him was never challenged more, because he did so much.
I think you said it. Because when you're dealing with one of the best defenses of all time, you got probably a couple of Hall of Famers over there, a bunch of Ring of Honor type of guys, and it didn't seem like the offense carried the team. You're always going to lean towards the side of the ball that carries the team if you don't have a Hall of Fame quarterback. Even when Peyton Manning won his Super Bowl, we know the defense carried that thing.
Yeah,
but
we saw the
Peyton
Ducks.
it was rough watching that. But
quacking.
Peyton Manning is Peyton Manning. At that time, you had no one solidified on offense as that dude, minus Marshawn Lynch, and a running back is hardly going to get the love that he deserves.
I know you briefly described it, but to reiterate, someone just said before we move on, what does come to balance mean?
Come to balance. So when receivers line up, they have 1 foot up, 1 foot back. And when the ball is snapped, it's like they split their feet to now both of their feet are underneath their shoulders. Instead of a split stance like 1 front, 1 back, now you're wide and allows you to shift your weight a little bit and get the DB to react to your movement. When I was coming up, my coach would not let me do that release. He wouldn't let me do it. And as the game has evolved, guys like Doug Baldwin and, like I mentioned, Devontae Adams and Stephon Diggs has made that okay, and Doug was one of the best to do it.
Why did that change? Because you didn't play – and I don't mean this as just a pointless compliment. You didn't play that long ago. Like, we're talking 2004, 5 when you were
when I was in college,
pro.
4 to 8, and then 8 to 10.
That's not that long ago.
It's not.
Why did it change?
It depends on your mentor too. My coach was an old school dude. He played in the NFL in like the 70s, and he wasn't big ups Mike Levinseller. This is not a knock on you, Coach. I love you. He just wasn't as athletic as the guys he was teaching, so he had to be really quick with his movements, and it worked. It worked for us, but there's some things that we'd watch other guys do. Like, man, I wish I can do that.
Yeah.
And he just won't let us do it.
Okay. Let's move on to a little more Cooper sound. He was asked whether he's drawing motivation, like I'm sure many, quote, older players are, from people saying he's too old.
I've had people doubt me for a long time through my life, and, in some ways, rightfully so. I mean, I was a very small kid growing up and cared a lot, but there's a lot of people that care a lot, just don't have the stuff stringed together, and I was very blessed to have a lot of coaches to come alongside me and teach me and show me the way, and very thankful for that. And I wouldn't be here today without that. But all those doubts and all those things, it's never been about proving other people wrong. I think I've lived in that space, and it never goes well. It's been about being who I am, like believing in myself and knowing that I can be who I see myself becoming. When I've taken that attitude, when I've taken that mindset, that's when I've always been at my best.
You know what I'll say about Cooper Kupp is I think that, yes, the injuries are playing a factor in that, right? He has had season-ending injuries since then. He's missed games since his 2021 massive season. Part of it is also I do think people see the Rams front office as being a very smart front office.
Yeah.
And I think that people are also reading into, well, why the Rams move on?
Mm-hmm. You have to take that into account. There's a reason why organizations move on from players. It could be production. It could be fit. It could be we have a younger, cheaper receiver that's here that can kind of fill the role that you're already in. There are always reasons, but one man's trash is another man's treasure. And I don't think the Hawks are going to ask him to be a #1 receiver. People talk about his age. He's 31 years of age. I'm just going to go through a couple guys who had some good seasons at 33.
Sure.
Some of these dudes are Hall of Famers, so I'm not asking him to do that. You got Julian Edelman. At 33 years old, he had 1,100 yards. You got Hines Ward at 33, he had 1,167, At 33, T.O. had 1118. Then at the top of this thing, at 33, Jerry Rice had 1800. Crazy.
Jerry Rice continues to be the most ridiculous outlier in any category, much like Tom Brady, where you're like, why?
Yeah, it's crazy the production you got out of Jerry Rice for that long. I'm not asking him to be Jerry. I'm not asking him to be any of the guys that I just mentioned. Julian Edelman, Larry Fitz had a 1,000-yard season at 33. I'm just giving examples, and he's not 33. He's 31 years of age, and we're not expecting that from him here in Seattle. If he does go over a G, now we got something to talk about.
Before I move to the next cut, speaking of those statistical outliers, have you ever seen the passing yards since turning 40 category?
No.
Obviously, it's led by Tom Brady, but you have a couple other guys that are in there. But the difference between those other guys are in single-digit thousands, and Brady has like 20-something thousand.
Crazy.
It's insane. Like, no one's touching that ever.
No. Him and Jerry. Ain't nobody touching that.
That's it. Cooper Kupp, I thought this one was interesting on what sold him about the Seahawks.
You know, as we went through things, I thought the messaging from Mike and from John and from the Coobs, from all the guys that I talked to here, the messaging was right on par with what I thought was how you build a championship team. It's about the people. You focus on bringing in good people that are about ball, and all the other stuff's going to fall in place. And that's something that, when that was the mindset, when it wasn't about, specific football people that you're trying to get in place. Like, we're trying to get just the people. We're trying to get solid people that know how to work, that are about playing this game the right way. That's something that I was like, man, this is something that I know that's how you build a good team. I know that that's the best teams I've been a part of have been built that way. And so that excited me. And, as time went on, talking to, Ernest Jones, who's been here, I've known, talking to Jackson, talking with, Sam after he had signed on, and, various guys in the organization that's like, hey, there's the same messaging every time. It's like, hey, we're building something here that's special, and we've got the right people in the building to do it.
I mentioned that the single best answer, most interesting answer that I heard from Kupp yesterday, it was with Wyman and Bob, and we'll get to it at 11:45. This was the second most interesting one. And I wrote about it in our email because of the line. The messaging was right on par with what I thought was how you build a championship team. It's about the people. You focus on bringing good people that are about ball, and all the other stuff is going to fall into place. Now, listen, Bob, is it how I would build a Super Bowl team? No. I would say give me the very best players. Give me first-team All-Pros. Give me Pro Bowlers. Give me second-team All-Pros. Yeah, exactly. Give me a ridiculously talented Eagles-level roster. Like, that's how me, fantasy football GM, would build a team. However, I've never won a Super Bowl. Cooper Kupp has. I've never won a Super Bowl. John Schneider has. So is there something to his point about getting the right people, getting people that want to be there?
No, he's won a Super Bowl. He's been a Super Bowl MVP, and he was a part of something that was built as well. When he joined the Rams, they were a decent team, but they weren't the team that they happened to be in 2021. So he saw the moves that were being made, and even if in the moment he didn't realize what he was witnessing, when he looks back on it and now he hears the messaging from McDonald and Schneider and whatnot, it's all starting to correlate. It's all starting to make sense. So I think that's important that you got someone who's already done it to buy into what you're saying, to buy into your vision and to see it, because he's already been a part of that. Yeah. I think that is huge, man. There's no fooling a guy who has won the Triple Crown, who has been a leader on the team, who's won a Super Bowl MVP, won big games, lost big games, right? His resume is extensive. So if you get him to buy into what you're selling over there, that means it should be easier to get everyone else to buy in as well.
Yeah, if there's one thing I've learned from being at the time sports reporter, now I'm a host, so I'm dumb. But if there's one thing I did learn when I was very closely following this team, going to every press conference, it's that sometimes coach speak and player speak is real. Like at first I'd be like, what did I learn from this? And I'd walk away going, there's nothing here. And then years later, you'd find out that something a coach or player kept saying rang true. So I think that all the time with Pete Carroll now that in hindsight he's not here. I'll watch a game where they turn the ball over, or I'll hear Mike McDonald say, yeah, I kind of learned that only a few things matter. And I'll think back to the million press conferences I went to Pete Carroll going, what did I really learn from this? Going, oh, this is fundamentally what he believes in. He was right. So I found myself wondering whether there was truth to what Cooper was saying about how important it is not just to get the most talented guys, but like get the right people and good people that care about ball in the building. And it's so easy to go, he's saying nothing. Who cares? This is a sentimental press conference. Or you could look at it and go, sometimes in hindsight, people are right.
I've been on teams with a lot of talent with no chemistry, no direction. And fell short of a lot of goals. I've been on teams that were less talented, but everyone was bought in. Everyone believed. I posted this clip the other day of this young man running some drills in basketball, and he's being timed, and it seems like he hasn't met the time yet, so he's the only one running. And his teammates are right there behind him. He misses the first one. They're gassing him up. And then all of a sudden, on his last try, he gets this energy, and he starts sprinting, and it just comes out of nowhere. And he hits the line. He makes a time, and everyone goes nuts. And it literally gave me chills because that's the type of stuff that wins you ball games late in the season. Stuff that people don't even realize. The team probably doesn't realize that's what's going to win the ball games, but the coaches do because they know that it's going to take everybody from the top guy to the bottom guy. And if everyone believes, and if everyone believes in each other, good things can happen. Doesn't guarantee anything.
Yeah.
You still got to coach well, still got to play well, still got to catch the football, but you get the right group of guys moving in the same direction. It's a beautiful thing, man. That's what I miss the most about sports.
Oh, that's such a good example to give because immediately the text line and I were thinking of examples of really talented rosters that didn't do anything, whether that was in the NFL or not, right? You're thinking of like the great trio that the Brooklyn Nets got together, and then you're like, nothing came of that.
Right.
And then you're thinking of previous iterations of the Eagles or even the Jets over the last 2 seasons when you're like, man, they had a great roster on paper, but why didn't it matter? Because you need chemistry, you need want to, you need buy-in, you need actual belief in a team.
Yep.
And, oh, man, that's so insightful. Anyway, so I love that answer. Love the insight bump about that drill and watching the kid do that and kind of the experience of having been a player in good and bad locker rooms and the effect of that. Let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news with Bump and Stacy.
According to sources, the Vikings are rolling with J.J. McCarthy at quarterback and no longer pursuing Aaron Rodgers. What's the real headline?
This will be his darkest darkness retreat yet. Aaron Rodgers, we're in the dark about where you're going to go now that we know it's not the Vikings.
We
Steelers.
are. You know, I'm all for letting a quarterback marinate, right? But I'm also not mad at this decision because leadership matters. Who is he going to learn under? Would Rodgers come in with the right attitude? But then I started looking at this situation when it comes to just personnel and availability. Justin Jefferson will be a free agent in 2028. They might extend it before that, but that's 4 years he gets with JJ. You got Addison, who'll be a free agent in 2026. They might extend it, but that's 2 years. And then you have Kevin O'Connell, who just signed a 5-year deal. This allows JJ to try to build some chemistry with those two, but it also allows Kevin O'Connell to figure out, is this going to be my franchise guy right now? It just accelerates the process a little bit because if you do bring a veteran in, there's going to be a different dynamic, some competition going on, which could be fine, and it could make JJ better. He could learn from an Aaron Rodgers, but he also probably won't learn from Aaron Rodgers. You just don't know. So what I like about this, more time with your ballers, more time with your OC, your head coach to kind of figure out, is he going to be the right fit or not?
Headline rewrites.
Shohei Ohtani hit his first home run of the 2025 season early this morning inside the Tokyo Dome. What's the real headline?
162-0, still in play.
Hey, come on now, let's get it. Dodgers. This was the perfect debut, and the energy is the Tokyo Dome, I believe it's called. The energy in there was crazy. That home run barely got out, but it did get out. And also on the other side, there's a man named Suzuki who grew up maybe a few miles from the Tokyo Dome, who had his moment in the first game. Could have driven in a couple runs to tie it up late, but you felt the energy when those two were at bat, man. And this is what the game's all about. They're expanding the game. Japan, there's going to be a game in Australia, obviously games in England. I love that that MLB is doing this, but when you have your biggest star in the game and he's going home and he performs for the people, it's beautiful to watch. So many Dodger jerseys in that stand, in those stands over there. It was fun. I didn't wake up to watch it, but I re-watched the other one, and then I'll do the same with this.
Can I say something about sports hate in general? And you guys can tell me if you disagree or not. If there's a team that I don't have beef with, I typically don't feel this like massive emotional response. For instance, someone was critiquing me, which is fair, critique me for anything you want, but someone was critiquing us the other day for talking about the Dodgers. And I thought, well, God, I just made one comment about how I was not surprised at all that the Dodgers were leading all teams in nationally televised games. Of course they are.
Right.
They're the Dodgers. They spend the most money. It's LA. None of that was shocking to me. And I also had no massive issue with it because the Mariners still got 13. So I was like, all right, that's cool. That makes sense to me. I'm fine with that. I'll take those 13 games. And this person was presumably a Mariners fan. And me personally, Okay? I don't know about y'all. Me personally, I thought, I don't care about the Dodgers. If the Dodgers win, I don't care. If the Dodgers lose, I don't care. If the Astros win, I hate them. If the Astros lose, I hate them. If the Astros, I don't even know, do literally anything, I won't like them. Same with the Yankees. Like, there are just certain teams that I will root against.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what. If the Yankees roll out a team of backups and ball boys because everyone is hurt and they have nothing left, I will root against the Yankees. I don't care. You could put family members on that team and I'd be like, I'm so sorry, Aunt Terry.
You know what you just did?
I gotta root against you.
You just did the plot of an Adam Sandler movie, Waterboy.
Dang!
He's everywhere.
Stop.
Can't get rid of him.
What do you mean he's everywhere?
Waterboy. We talked about Adam Sandler movies yesterday.
He plays multiple positions?
No, well, he was a water boy, and everyone gets hurt, and they need a guy. Not everyone, but they need a guy. They bring him off the bench as a water boy, and he starts balling out.
It's totally making sense.
There you go.
It did not occur to me. Yes, you're right. I know I'd seen it. I saw it when it first came out, like on TV or something. Okay, I get it now. Can I also say about the Adam Sandler stuff? The sheer number of people that were deeply offended that I said, I didn't even say Adam Sandler movies were bad. I think Adam Sandler's likable. I think that they kind of all follow the same formula.
Yeah.
He talks like this, and he ends up with a hot chick. That's how the movie works every single time. That's
It's
the
like
formula.
running a spread offense. It works.
I'm just saying, you need to, not everything is going to be for you. Those movies just weren't for me. And I don't know. Anyone getting actually upset about that needs to chill. And you also need to realize that these movies are all the same. They are. They are the same.
Defending champion Scotty Scheffler said he's confident he'll improve heading into the Masters. What's the real headline?
Bump, do you think Tiger's going to improve this year as well?
No, he's not. Tiger, I hope you're resting. I hope your surgery went well. And Scotty, you better win this thing, man. You win it for Tiger, Scotty. I might have some more to say about this later. Matthew, love you, hate you.
Love you,
Third
hate
time
you
you
too,
bring
Bump.
this up.
Someone said, what if the Yanks are playing the Astros? Who's your supreme hate team? You might have different ones growing up in
That's
LA.
the Boston Celtics.
Okay, so what if the Celtics are playing anyone else, do you hate them more?
No, the Celtics that's it.
Okay.
The Boston Celtics hate them. I don't hate this team, but when we played them, it divided LA. U.S. soccer versus Mexico. When that game was played, the Mexican homies was like, I don't know if I can rock with you this week, Bob. I'm like, it's cool. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah,
I'll see you on
understandable.
Monday. It's all good.
Yeah. You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, I ain't
You know
mad.
what I mean?
I ain't mad, but I get it.
Wow, I didn't even think about the geopolitical implications of USA
wild.
versus Mexico.
Big
You're
game.
right. Let's see. Yankees, Astros. Who do I hate more? God. That might be when it comes down to who's better. Right now, I think I more recently was I was rooting less against the Yankees in that case.
Yeah. Red Sox. Sorry. Red Sox.
Come on. It's
That's your
always the
ultimate
Yankees.
hate team?
It's England and the Yankees.
Why is England number one? Because of the war?
Yeah. they're bad guys.
Okay, I didn't know if it was a sports thing or if it was like a
it is a sports
Independence
thing.
Day,
England,
Revolutionary
England
War
rugby
thing.
are like
Oh, okay. So we're
bad
not
people.
talking like Declaration of Independence.
I
kind
mean,
of
also
moment.
that they've done a lot of bad things over the course of history.
Yeah, colonialism.
Mm-hmm.
They have.
What happened to Diana?
The famine.
Two major questions I have. Were they responsible for the Black Plague?
Probably.
Literally anything bad to happen. Teeth.
Are we going to have a British dude on our show later?
A lot. Oh.
We should probably chill.
Oh my God, you're right.
We should probably chill.
We really should chill. Why'd you do this? Look what you did. You got us into this hole. Rob Staton is going to join us, and we're very, very excited for him. He is brilliant. And no one tell Rob about what we just said. And if you do, I'll find you. I will find you. Top 30 visits. That's next.
We are the home of the Mariners.
Big news, by God. We're excited to announce a multi-year partnership extension between the Seattle Mariners and Seattle Sports / Bonneville Seattle. So all Mariner games will continue to be heard on our platforms, including 7:10 a.m. The legend that is Rick Riz.
We couldn't be happier on behalf of the Seattle Mariners. We love the fact that we're going to be back on 710 Seattle Sports. Thank you so much. We're thrilled.
On Seattle Sports
And the Seattle Sports app.
At 65 years old, Brian has a rather demanding hobby.
My biggest passion is snow skiing, and I ski between 70 and 80 days per year. And I ski instruct at a private resort in Montana.
Needless to say, that can be a bit tough on the joints.
When this knee started to bother me, I thought I'm doomed.
That's when Brian decided to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
If I did yard work or skied a few days in a row, I was fighting swelling and pain and no sleep and all sorts of problems, and that has absolutely gone away.
So are you back on the slopes?
I mean, I had a 14-day stretch with clients where I skied every day and I had no problem. It was fine. It was just like, I felt like new.
So I'm guessing you would recommend this to others.
Oh, I already have. I've told everyone that'll listen.
Whether it's a shoulder, hip, or knee, before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
It's really, truly a miracle.
The brackets are now open. Compete in the Seattle Sports Bracket Bucks presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Head to seattlesports.com/win to pre-register. Receive your bracket and compete for your shot at great prizes. The grand prize winner from the 64-team bracket will win $1,000 in Visa gift cards. But if your bracket is busted in the first round, we have other ways for you to play too. Register and find complete rules at seattlesports.com/win.
Meanwhile, at Xfinity. So, influencer life going well?
Oh, yeah. I'm up to 32 followers.
Oh, that's something.
Yeah, posting my tap dancing videos is easier than ever because we engineered Xfinity Internet with 99.99% network reliability.
Plus, Xfinity Mobile with Wi-Fi Power Boost gives you ultra-fast Wi-Fi at home and on the go. But wait, tap dancing? You don't tap dance.
Hey, what I lack in skill, I make up with passion.
Do more of what you love and love how fast you do it with Xfinity Internet and mobile. And now through April 21st, get 300 megabit Xfinity Internet and one unlimited mobile line together for $25 a month for 1 year and save $1,000 in your first year over Verizon and AT&T. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Savings compared to Verizon 5G Internet plus one unlimited welcome line and AT&T Internet 300 plus one unlimited starter SL line. Xfinity Internet required. Actual speeds vary. Reduced speeds after 30 gigabits of usage per line. Data thresholds and actual savings vary.
Okay, I have to tell you. I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
T-Mobile home internet is all about speed, value.
What you doing, Zach?
I'm rehearsing. There are so many benefits. You got to talk fast.
T-Mobile home internet ranks #1 in customer satisfaction for home wireless internet by J.D. Power.
Wow, you are good.
Try singing it. T-Mobile has price lock.
They won't raise your rate on internet.
Hulu and Paramount Plus on them.
Get T-Mobile home internet all in for just $55 a month with auto pay and any postpaid voice line.
Additional terms apply. For J.D. Power 2024 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
Subscribe to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find new and exclusive content from your favorite shows and personalities daily. Just head to YouTube, search Seattle Sports, and click subscribe.
Bob Stelton here for Asset Roofing, and they have got the perfect slogan. You're either hiring a liability or you're hiring an asset, and I witnessed this firsthand when I met Anthony, the owner, and again when I had him do work on my roof. Now this spring, replace your aging roof with Asset Roofing because you're either hiring a liability or you're hiring an asset. Check them out at AssetRoofingCo.com. That's AssetRoofingCo.com.
Certified work that's never in doubt. Asset Roofing, excellence is on the house.
John here with Happy Hauler. We want to help get your unwanted items to those in need. Furniture and household items you plan on throwing away? We'll take them and prioritize donating and recycling, keeping items out of the landfill, and giving useful items a second happy home. Happy Hauler is Seattle's eco-friendly junk removal. We work with over 20 nonprofits all over Western Washington to donate used items. Make yourself, your community, and the planet happy. Reclaim your space. HappyHauler.com, hauling with a heart.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, well, we're still a ways away from the NFL draft, but we're getting some insight into some players the Seahawks could be interested in. Top 30 visits. What's it tell us about the direction at number 18? We got 3 names here. Let's see. We'll start with a name that I've seen from a lot of Seahawks fans. They're really excited about this guy. I know some people may not want to see defensive back selected at 18 overall, but safety Nick Emanwari did take a visit for the Seattle Seahawks. He was one of their top 30 visits. We'll start with Nick. He's someone I know you're also really excited about as well.
Yeah, Nick is a certified baller. 4.38 in the 40. 43-inch vert, 11.6 broad jump, bench press the 225 20 times. That's just him by the numbers. And numbers, they pan out. He's 6'3", 220 pounds. He plays with a swiftness and tenacity that I haven't seen a safety play with it in a very long time, especially not a man his size. He's a guy that I can see imitating like a Cam Chancellor. Nobody will be a Cam Chancellor, but we always try to make some correlation, right? And when I watch the film of Nick, that's what I see. And when that football is in his hands, a lot of these DBs and safeties look lost at times. Like, where am I running? I'm not used to this. This isn't what I do. When I watch him play football and the football's in his hand, he is going to that end zone and he has intent. Yeah. This is one of the most fun players I've watched in a long time because of just how easy he makes the game look. And he made it look easy in what used to be considered the best division, or conference in football. We got to give that to the Big 12 at this point. But, man, if this guy were to be on this football team, the things you can do with him, he's a guy who can be in the box. He can even line up over tight ends. If you want to take a slot, he can do that. He can roam over the top. He's like the hybrid player of the future. We used to think of, and we still do think of these outside linebackers as the hybrid players, right? Especially when that 3-4, they can play off the ball with 3 or 4 yards. They can walk down and take on tackles. He's a guy who you can move outside, you can move inside, back at safety, in the box, whatever you want to do, he allows you to do that.
Is this like a Kyle Hamilton kind of player, or maybe what you thought Jamal Adams would be?
I think he is a mix because I think Jamal Adams is best when he's in the box.
Yeah, exactly.
And Kyle Hamilton does a little bit of everything, but he doesn't have the junk in the trunk, so to speak, as this young man says. When he gets downhill to tackle people, he feels it, and he's savvy. You can see his eyes when he's reading the quarterback in coverages and route combinations. His hips are in the right place. His eyes are in the right place. He makes the game look easy. Very smooth player, but also plays with a lot of violence.
Of the 3 players that we're going to talk about, they are 3 different positions. The third one is the most interesting position to visit the Seahawks. This was the most interesting player, interesting name, intriguing name to me, so I wanted to start with him because I think that one of the conversations we've been having about the direction the Seahawks are moving in, you and I have been very particular about not calling it a rebuild and not necessarily even calling it a retool or restructuring anything because there's so much to work with the defense. If anything, what it looks like is a pivot, right, from Geno and DK, but also a pivot to the focus of, your building and the focus of your spending and your investment. They want to be a defensive team, a great defense, and they want to be able to run the ball. Now, running the ball, you still got to figure that out. But in terms of being a great defense, it feels like the jump isn't quite the leap that it feels for the offense.
Yeah, defense, you're already a good defense. Now you are an above average defense. You're trying to be a great defense. And the reason why you are above average is because of the things that you were able to do last year. Leo having the year that he had really catapulted this thing. Jay Reed contributing. You got Kobe Bryant, who came out of nowhere. To some people, we always knew that Kobe was on this squad, right? And suffer some injuries a little bit, and then you draft Spoon, and you just kind of get lost in the mix. You get an opportunity, and Kobe took full advantage of that. Then Ernest Jones comes around and makes you that much more fierce and in control, it felt like when you were in the box. this defense is trying to be above average to great. And I think that's something that is possible. Great to me meaning like a top 10 defense. So let's say just really good defense. With this offense, you got more questions. You say, look, we have some pieces over there, some unproven pieces in this uniform. Sam Darnold, Cooper Kupp. Obviously, Jason has been here, MVS. But you're looking at the offense and you're questioning if they're going to be able to control the game the way that we like to see an offense control the game, which would be running the football, play action, all that good stuff. So, yes, the biggest leap or the bigger leap has to be with the offense. Defense, they're like, look, we rolling right now.
Yeah.
Let's add some pieces and keep this thing going.
And sometimes that's going to mean adding pieces you don't think they need, but that's what takes them to that next level. That visit reported by Josh Kendall of The Athletic. Let's get to our next one. Tackle Issa Poole from your Cougs, Washington State visiting. We heard Brady Henderson tell us, look, Seattle was going after Will Fries. It didn't work out, and they're not going to throw money at a second-best option. They're going to look at what they have and look at draft pieces. Do you think that they turn to the draft for offensive line help?
Yeah, they have to. There's no way they go through this draft and they do not pick up a big boy who puts his hand in the dirt and gets into pass pro. There's no way. And Issa Poole is one of those guys who would come on, and even if he were drafted, I think he would be like a mid to late round draft pick. If he were, he's one of those guys who have to come on and prove himself. Nothing's guaranteed. If you're not drafted in the first 2 rounds, maybe first 3, and you come in late, you're still on a prove-it type of deal. But we know that the Hawks do this. They always bring in a guy from Washington State. They always bring in a guy from UW. If they're not drafted, they always bring in a guy from Eastern Washington. They take care of their homegrowns because they've had eyes on them all year.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for Issa if he were to get an opportunity here, and it wouldn't surprise me at all.
All right. Let's get to our last one. I mentioned it's not the most fascinating name, but it is the most fascinating position. Quarterback Tyler Shaw. He visited the team, and we did speak with Steve Weish. He was on with our show, and we asked him whether or not it was possible the Seahawks turn to the draft for a quarterback.
I don't think anything they've done precludes them from drafting a quarterback. I don't think they're going to package some of that draft capital that they got to move up necessarily to try to get to Shedeur Sanders or something like that and do what the Falcons did last year and take Michael Penix after paying Kirk Cousins in free agency. I don't see that being part of the move, but I would fully expect them to draft a quarterback at some point.
Well, they may not have to trade up for Tyler. This could be a guy that they just kind of, waited out. It's not going to be, certainly not Cam Ward, but it's also, you're going to see probably Milroe go before him.
Yeah.
Jackson Dart, you're going to see a couple names off the board before.
What I like about this dude, he is the COVID NIL transfer portal product, right? Because he's been to several places. Stop at Oregon, stop at Texas Tech, and now Louisville. So he's played in about 42 games. This is something that we're going to see more of when it comes to these quarterbacks. This is a guy that you can take late to come in and compete with Sam Howell. We shall see. I think Sam will still have the upper hand in this whole situation. Sam has been a starter in this league, but he's had some decent years. He threw 23 touchdowns last year, 6 interceptions, and people can look at all the stops that he's made and tell themselves, well, we want a guy who's committed and will tough it out. Those days are over, especially if you are a quarterback. If you see the writing on the wall and you know you're not going to get your opportunity and you really want to have a chance in the league, you have to make these moves. So, yeah, he was my man started playing college ball in 2018, okay? He's a grown man. He's seen some things. 2018.
Dang. If nothing else, even if it's not Tyler Shaw, it is interesting to know the Seahawks could still be eyeing a quarterback. I think they should. I think all of us think of probably John Schneider lamenting not taking more quarterbacks. He's drafted 2 ever with the Seahawks. Obviously, Russell Wilson, a 3rd-round pick in 2012, and then later Alex Mugu, I think a 6th-rounder. And that's it. And your relationship, as tumultuous as it could be at times with Russell Wilson, is probably what kept you from doing that, because we had heard a million reports about interest and potential trades and pro day visits that he had for a couple big names. Now you can find anyone. You don't have the draft capital to go get the top guy or even the second best guy, but might there be a day 2, maybe even an early day 3 pick that you use at this position? Something that I'm sure we'll be talking about more as we inch closer to the draft. Coming up next, it's Get Off My Lawn.
Baseball is back. Julio Rodriguez and the 2025 Mariners are ready to play ball.
God, Julio, home run!
Opening day is just 8 days away.
It's a mentality. It's time to battle. It's time to fight.
Seattle Sports will be live from Soto all day, including Wyman and Bob at Victory Hall from 2 to 6 p.m. Seattle Sports, the home of the Mariners, and your exclusive home for opening day.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto Family.
Hello. Welcome to Lee Johnson Auto Family. This is King. This organization's a special one. They call it the Lee Johnson Auto Family, and it's not just a name. It's not just some cliche. They foster an environment for us to become a family, to work together, to really become close. And they show us in a lot of different ways that they do value us. Is it perfect? No place is. But I've been very thankful to be here in the almost 10 years and have every plan to stay here for a lot longer and just watch it continue to grow.
He's fun and professional, which explains why so many people visiting Lee Johnson Kia ask for him by name. The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto Family.
We at Three Tree Roofing understand that your home is your castle. That's why our certified technicians use state-of-the-art installation methods to deliver the highest warranties available. Check out our hundreds of online reviews and schedule a free estimate to see for yourself. Three Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. The best place to watch all your favorite sports. Featuring wall-to-wall viewing screens, 6 windows, and 30 kiosks. Be there at emeraldqueen.com. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
The nonprofit Puget Sound Senior Baseball League plays real baseball on the best fields. Final tryouts for adults ages 18 to 65 and older are this Sunday, March 23rd at Interlake High School in Bellevue. With 10 divisions featuring different age and skill levels, there's room for almost every ball player, from ex-Little Leaguers to high school and even former college and pros. Get all the info at pssbl.com. That's pssbl.com.
Between his hobbies and decades of work in a boatyard, Philip had put his body through a lot.
I'm an avid fly fisherman and an avid skier. It takes its toll.
Not to mention one other thing.
I had a near-fatal motorcycle accident. Absolutely obliterated my lower left leg again.
Philip couldn't live with the pain anymore, so he decided to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
Listening to all these radio spots, I said, what do I got to lose?
What was your experience like with Dr. Wagner?
What I was so impressed with Mark about is that how often you have a surgery like this, and the guy calls you the next day to see how you're doing. I can't say enough good things about the guy, honestly.
And how are you feeling now?
I have no pain, none. Zero.
Wow. So would you recommend stem cell therapy to others?
I'm a fan, believe me. I'd recommend it to anybody.
Before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
The John Schneider Show.
Every Thursday until draft day on Wyman and Bob.
Listen live Thursdays at 4 p.m. or watch the interviews on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Protein, protein, protein. Everyone is trying to get protein in their diet, but we need fats too. Healthy fat, that is, like the rich, natural peanut and almond butters found at G2G protein bars. Most bars don't have it because, well, most bars aren't real food or refrigerated. Fortunately for you, we aren't most bars. At G2G, you'll find a balanced helping of protein and healthy fat. The fact that they're delicious is just the bonus. They're fast, easy, and perfect for on-the-go families. G2G protein bars. Find them in the refrigerated section at Costco.
Window Nation customers have been singing our praises for years. With fast, local service and an industry-leading 96% customer satisfaction rating, it's no wonder.
I researched window companies for the last year to see what the average prices were and the quality of work. Window Nation nailed both.
Get 2 windows free with every 2 you buy. Pay no interest for 2 full years. Hurry, this offer ends soon. Schedule a free estimate now. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. That's 866-90-NATION.
Hey friends, Stacy Ross here. Who has some of the best deals on new Fords and Isuzus in the Pacific Northwest? Wayscar Ford in Auburn. Who has a large selection of the highest quality used vehicles in the Pacific Northwest? That would also be Wayscar Ford in Auburn. And what dealership promises no games, no gimmicks, and never any pressure to purchase? Yes, that is correct. It's Wayscar Ford in Auburn still. Who's the only Ford dealer in all of Washington to offer a 5-day or 500-mile, no questions asked, 100% money-back return policy? Wayscar Ford in Auburn. They offer free lifetime powertrain warranty on virtually all of their new Fords. Who's the only dealer that will purchase your used car, pay you right up front, and then once they resell your old car, return 50% of the profit to you? Only Wayscar Ford in Auburn. They've given over $750,000 back to customers who have sold them their cars. And finally, what dealership has been family-owned and operated in Auburn for over 103 years? You guessed it. Wayscar Ford in Auburn. Visit them at wayscarford.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Coming up a bit later in the show in NFL headlines, the Lions have proposed a significant change to playoff seeding. Again, we'll get to that in NFL headlines. Right now, it's time for Get Off My Lawn.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
3 things grinding your gears this week. What do we got?
You know what's crazy? Every time I hear that I'm a man, I'm 40. It started when I was like 37.
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost 40 now. I'm almost 40. It's getting scary. I'm a man, I'm 40, but let's get into it. The first one, Matthew, is this is for Tiger Woods, man. This is for Tiger Woods. You're making the Masters about you. It ain't about you no more, Tiger.
What?
Us golfers just want to see you. I want to see you limp down the fairway, shank a shot to the right. It don't matter. I just want to see you. You're training too hard, bruh. You are 50 years of age. I'm 39. I don't do nothing like I did when I was 25, 26, 27, 28, even 30. You have to think about your fans, Tiger. I'm so disappointed in you preparing yourself this way for the Masters, rupturing your Achilles at your house, at your own house in your own gym. Now, this is a joke, but this really hurts my soul. Because I don't know how many more times I'm going to be able to see Tiger Woods. See that Sunday red, hopefully, because he doesn't make a lot of cuts these days. See him walk down the field, twirl that club after he just peers a shot, make a putt from 15, 20 feet out. I need this in my life because when he is gone, golf is going to be different. But you know what? Scotty Scheffler, you better step up, dog. Rory McIlroy, you better step up. Morikawa, you step up. DeChambeau, you step up. Koepka, you step up. This is for Tiger. Tiger, you let me down, but I forgive you. But can't do this again, man. I need you, okay? There's only so many more years I can watch you do your thing, dog.
The first takeaway from Get Off My Lawn is Tiger Woods, how dare you rupture your Achilles?
How dare you go hard in the gym?
Dang.
Slow it down a little bit.
Stop it.
I don't even do sprints no more. You know what I do? I just walk really fast at an incline. I'm not touching those sprints.
Do you do it in Skechers slip-ons?
I don't. I still rock the Nikes. But Skechers, if you want to cut a deal, I got you.
Not above it. What's next?
I'm a man. I'm 40.
All right, next up, man, this is kind of selfish of me, but whatever. Okay, whatever.
I mean, following you, telling Tiger Woods, Tiger, you only need one leg to golf. Just go.
Just go, man. They should let Tiger, side note, let him ride a cart for here on out, okay? Don't make him walk anymore.
No, carry him, honestly.
All right, but, man, Dodgers in Japan, 3 a.m. start. Now, I did the math when it comes to what time it is here and opposed to what it is in Japan. A 3 p.m. game here is a 7 a.m. game in Japan. It doesn't make sense. A 10 p.m. game here is a 2 p.m. game in Japan the next day. That makes sense. Matinee day game. Let us Dodger fans enjoy this as well. I understand you're spreading the game. It's Japan. You got Shohei over there, Suzuki as well. I get that. But, man, 3 a.m. start, this is the one time I feel like the West Coast just gets screwed when it comes to sports. But it's only for a day. But me personally as a Dodger fan, I don't want to wake up, go to the gym and watch a replay. I want to see the real thing, man. And I can't afford this. I can't afford to wake up at 3 a.m. I will be grumpy, Stacy. I will have no takes for you.
I'm going to hate it.
You'll be here by yourself. Matthew will have to come out from behind the glass, and he'll be the analyst, and I'll go push buttons, and I'll push the wrong buttons. All right?
Yep.
The 3 a.m. start is killing me right now, but it's over now. It's over now. Shohei, you did your thing over there. I appreciate you, but selfishly, make it a 10 p.m. game. 2 p.m. over there, matinee. You know what? Make one game a 3 a.m. start here, and then make it a 10 p.m. start the next game so we can just really watch this. I want to see the numbers. Let's meet in the middle. Let's compromise, all right? MLB, get this done. 10 p.m. start, 2 for them, matinee game. Everybody's happy. And 10 is still late.
Yeah.
I'm still going to stay up until midnight, but it's better than 3 a.m.
Well, and not only that, they always try to cater everything to an East Coast audience. That's perfect for them. That's still, what, a 7? That's a nice, like, evening game.
I'm saying, man.
It's perfect.
Come on.
Okay, what's last?
I'm a man. I'm 40.
All right, this last one, it's been brewing for a little bit. I think most of you guys have heard the conflict between Stephen A. and LeBron. So Stephen A. went on his show. He is the biggest voice in sports media. And what do we do? Stephen A. Smith is it. Whether you like him or not, he has the biggest voice. And he goes on his show. He says, LeBron, stop this. He says, your son is only in the league because you're his dad, which is true. LeBron has been struggling this year. Bronny has been struggling this year, only averaging like 1.7 points or something like that. We all know he's in the league because of his dad. LeBron didn't like this. He said, you know what? I'm going to confront Stephen A. Smith courtside at the Lakers game. And I'm trying to decide which one of these guys are at fault. Stephen A., this is his job to have these takes and to say what is on his mind. But I also think that sometimes you got to soften the blow a little bit, especially when you're dealing with someone as popular, as prominent as LeBron James. For LeBron, I'm looking at LeBron and I'm saying, why do this courtside? Why do it courtside? You have his number. You know where he is. You could have set this thing up. I think both of these dudes are wrong. And it hurts in my heart to see this. I'm not even a LeBron guy, but I also understand who he is and what he means to the game. And as a father, you're protecting your son. And I put myself in his shoes, and I wonder if someone were talking about my son like that, what would I do? I'm no LeBron. I'm a dad on the sideline of a soccer game and at the basketball court. But what I would do, I'll pull him aside in the hallway, like, what's up? Like, let's have this conversation because you're talking loud on the sideline or whatever platform that you have. Let's handle this here. Both of these guys are wrong. I think Stephen A. does a great job at what he does. He's got a deal for $100 million for a reason because he's the best at what he does.
Yep.
But sometimes you got to put relationships in front of things and be like, you know what, I'm going to ease up on this. So I can tell the truth without making LeBron feel a certain way. And LeBron, like, come on, bro. You 6'8", 230 pounds, walking up on Stephen A. He ain't going to do nothing in that moment. LeBron, you've gone your whole career with class, never got in trouble, have done things the right way for the most part. I was trying to figure out who I wanted to go after with this one. Both guys are wrong. There are some facts here, though. Bronny is only in the league because of his dad. There's some facts here, though. Stephen A. gets paid a lot to do what he does. There's some facts here, though. LeBron is a father first, and you were talking about his kid. What do you expect? All right, it was just all jacked up, the whole situation. Both guys are wrong. Both of you guys can get off my lawn, but I will listen to you in the morning, Stephen A., and I will watch you in the evening, LeBron.
I feel like this is ultimately also why, when they say don't mix like business and family or business and friends or whatever, LeBron will forever until he's out of the league, and then even after that, be in this position of the truth about his son is going to make him as a father defensive. Because as a father, you can't at all be faulted for seeing the best in your child and seeing all the potential in the world in your child. You know what I mean? Like, analysts aren't wrong in their own take on Bronny, but for LeBron, of course, he looks at his son and goes, he has all the, he can be so talented. He can be so great.
We get blinded as parents sometimes. You think that your kid's better than what they are. Ask any parent before their kid is 3. He's a genius.
Yeah.
You see him, the way he put the blocks together and his eyes. Like, I be telling parents, like, calm down, bro. He's doing what normal 3-year-olds do. But parents do that. You gas your kids up.
That's what you do.
And it's okay. They're going to, most will just work a regular job and be a good person.
All right. Well, we are going to take a look at what the Seahawks have done in free agency so far. And importantly, take a look ahead to what's still to come in the draft with Rob Staton. He joins us next.
Blue 88 on Brock and Salk.
Who were the final suitors for DK? Teams that were willing to pay $33 million a year for 4 years on extension, $150 million total. It was really just New England and Pittsburgh.
Every day at 7:45.
Good for him. God bless him. And I absolutely have no issue and no problem with him going and getting even more of that generational wealth. But there were not many teams that were going to load up the Brinks truck.
Blue 88, answering 3 football questions as only Brock Heward can.
Over the past decade, Washington state politicians have doubled state spending with no improvements to the issues we care about. Instead, we now have the 3rd highest cost of living in the nation and a $12 billion deficit. It's time to tell legislators we need better results, not bigger taxes. Act now at affordablewashington.org. Paid for by people for an affordable Washington and Olympia, Washington. Top 5 donors are Washington Alliance for Competitive Economy, Microsoft, Madrona, T-Mobile, and Alaska Air.
The brackets are now open. Compete in the Seattle Sports Bracket Bucks presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Head to seattlesports.com/win to pre-register. Receive your bracket and compete for your shot at great prizes. The grand prize winner from the 64-team bracket will win $1,000 in Visa gift cards. But if your bracket is busted in the first round, we have other ways for you to play too. Register and find complete rules at seattlesports.com/win.
Riverside Roofing is offering $1,000 off a new roof replacement. Book a free estimate online, and when you meet with Brandon, that's Don's son, tell him you heard the message on the radio station. Go to riversideroofingllc.com. It's Riverside Roofing, the roofing company you can trust.
Shane Company engagement rings are expertly crafted to fit both your style and your lifestyle.
My wife's an artist and works with her hands. Shane Company helped me create a ring that's beautiful and sleek. She loves it.
Shane Company rings are crafted with care using high-quality materials, and we set each center stone by hand in our jeweler's workshop right here in our store. We also protect your ring, including the center stone, with our unmatched free lifetime warranty. Let us help you find your perfect ring, in-store and at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With AutoPay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without AutoPay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy. Pretty much hands off, They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. Optima Tax Relief. Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now, all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Jackson Hewitt wants you to save money on tax prep. We're saving money by having our intern rap in this commercial.
Don't stress, Jackson Hewitt's got expert tax prep, $149 or less. Yo, some tax guys lie about price. What? They got hidden fees, that ain't nice. Ain't nice. Don't ignore MC Kevin's rhyme, cause this deal's for a limited time. $149.
For tax prep that's $149 or less, hurry into Jackson Hewitt today.
No cap.
Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
At least one team is out of the Aaron Rodgers sweepstakes per ESPN. The Minnesota Vikings, who were pursuing Rodgers, are moving past their discussions with him, instead leaving last year's first-round pick, J.J. McCarthy, at the helm. Both ESPN and NFL Network also confirming the Vikings have received trade interest in McCarthy, but he obviously will not be moved. Shohei Ohtani met the moment in the Tokyo Dome, hitting his first home run of the season in the fifth, giving the Dodgers a 6-3 win for a two-game sweep of the Cubs.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Our next guest is always a fan favorite. Every single time we've had him on, I've gotten so many people afterwards. Where was that? Where can I find more? Who was he? Remind me who. Of course, it's Rob Staton, BBC sports journalist and author of Seahawks Draft Blog, joining us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. We have a lot to cover with you, Rob. How's it going, first of all?
Fantastic. Yeah, things really good here in the UK. How are things in Seattle? Everything all right?
Everything all right. Weather getting a little bit better. Still rainy, still gross. I'm sure you're familiar.
They got the same weather, right?
Same weather.
Same weather. Yeah. Exact same situation over here right now.
We're all in the same boat. So before we get to the draft, which we are eager to talk to you about, I am going to start with free agency. The Seahawks made... I think, I will call signing Sam Darnold an aggressive move, going after DeMarcus Lawrence an aggressive move, still holding, back on offensive line moves. What have you made of their, approach so far?
I like it. I think they've had a good start to free agency. I think Sam Darnold enables them to get a bit cheaper at quarterback, a bit younger. You get a third-round pick into the mix. I think there's a pretty similar quality to both players, Geno Smith and Sam Darnold. So I think that's a good move. I think getting Ernest Jones and Jaron Reed back was a big deal. I think with the cap space they had available, why not go and sign Marcus Lawrence and Cooper Kupp? These are not high-risk moves with consequences. They haven't missed out on anybody else for signing those players. And then with the O-line, this is the kind of the opinion I've taken on this. Everybody wants them to fix the offensive line. I want that. You want that. John Schneider wants that. But you are not going to fix the offensive line by signing the O-line version of Jerome Baker and Tyrell Dodson. You have got to sign the right players. And they clearly identified Will Fries as potentially the right player. The Minnesota Vikings offered him a contract that no other free agent at any position has been offered, a 5-year deal. They didn't want to have a medical. They were prepared to sign him to that. Kudos to the Vikings. Congratulations to Will Fries. I don't blame the Seahawks for not making that move. So they're going to have to look at the draft. They're going to have to see what else is out there. It's a big ask to get this done, but supply does not meet demand when it comes to the offensive line in the NFL.
Rob, at the beginning of last year, a lot of people had the trio of DK, Lockett, and JSN as like top 3, top 4 trios in the NFL when it comes to the wideout position. Now there's a different trio. JSN has moved up to the 1, obviously MSV, and then you have Cooper Kupp. How do you view this trio, and where do you think they rank roughly when you look at the NFL?
I think they're going to be good enough for what they need. They've said it a lot, haven't they, since Mike Macdonald came in, that they're going to be a team that wants to run the football. They're going to use play action. They're going to use this wide zone. I think they're going to try and get the tight ends a lot more involved. How many years have we been saying that we want the Seahawks to do that? I think it's probably going to happen this year, and they may well take another tight end in the draft with the idea of doing that. So I think they've got the weapons that they need to run the system that they want to run. And I think with Jackson Smith in Jigba and Cooper Kupp working together, I think Cooper Kupp is going to be the best influence on Jackson to help him take the next step in his career, to learn from a player who has achieved so much in the NFL. I think Marquez Valdes-Scantling is going to give them a deep threat. Was really impressed with what he did with the New Orleans Saints. They're going to draft somebody as well. They're probably going to add some speed in the draft in the first 4 rounds. So I think it's good. I'm happy with it. I'm not concerned about the skill positions. I think they've got some good players still. I think the main thing to make this offense really sort of ramp up to the next level is to draft a couple of really good offensive linemen now.
Speaking of drafting a couple of really good offensive linemen, it's something that I know John Schneider has received some criticism for before. They've taken a lot of shots, but haven't landed many of them. Feel free, Rob, to expand this beyond just the offensive line, but what do you make of John Schneider as a team builder, both the good and the bad?
I think in a free agency sense, he's not had a lot of success over the years. You have to go back probably to 2013 to the last time they had a home run veteran market off-season. And it's a long time ago. And now he needs to have a better off-season in terms of the veteran market. I think he is having that so far this year. And then with the draft, I think he's done a very good job of identifying players that are good players, getting high football character players, avoiding some of the risks that come with poor character and not good football character, going with best player available, not reaching for need. I think he's done a good job with that. And it's enabled them to accumulate a lot of talented players, but not necessarily create the kind of team with the vision that they want to be. And I think that's the next step now. It's about honing it in so that if you want to be a trenches team, draft for the trenches to build that kind of roster. I think he's going to do that now. And I think this draft works very well for that policy to try and draft some offensive linemen, to get some more defensive linemen, and to be the kind of team that John Schneider and Mike McDonald say they want to be.
Hey, going into the season last year, we felt that DB room was deep, right? And now guys are getting picked up, and it's looking a little thin. Obviously, your starters are still there. The Hawks have been connected to Nick, the safety out of South Carolina. How important is it, do you think, that they draft at this position? And what do you think about that room coming into, Spoon's third year and Reek's, fourth year for him? It's wild.
Yeah, well, Reek Woolen being out of contract in a year kind of makes cornerback somewhat of a priority. So I think they're probably going to draft someone at some stage. And I think the options from round 3, round 4 are good at cornerback. So I think that could be an area that they look at. Nick Emenwari is going to have an official 30 visit. He's one of the 3 names that have been confirmed for an official 30 visit so far. He's going to be an option. I also think Malachi Starks is somebody who could be a real option for the Seahawks. Can I tell you a little story about him?
Please.
So his position coach at Georgia gained a little weight and decided he was going to start running in the morning to lose that weight. And Malachi Starks says to him, "What time are you running, coach?" And he says, I'll be there at the facility at 6 a.m. And Starks is waiting for him at the facility at 5:30 to go for the run with him. And then the next day, and Starks is there every single day. On the 4th day, the coach was tired and he decided, I'm not going to run today. Who calls him at 6 a.m.? Malachi Starks. Coach, where are you? Teams are going to love this guy. His football character, his application, the professionalism. And then you see him on the tape. Fluid mover in the open field, versatile defensive back. He can hit. He just had some sloppy tape at the end of 2024. But, he's a player, along with Nick Emenwari, that we should probably keep an eye on for the secondary position.
Kind of a weird question. Is there a bad decision at number 18?
That is an unbelievable question, because there probably is. Listen, I don't think that there are any quarterbacks in this draft worthy of the 18th overall pick. But who am I to say if John Schneider, this is the guy who drafted Russell Wilson. This is the GM who reportedly had the foresight to understand what Patrick Mahomes was going to be and Josh Allen. If he decides, I'm going to take Jackson Dart or Tyler Shough at 18, I'm not going to hammer him for that. I'm going to see what happens with that. But I'm not sure that that's necessarily the best call for Seattle in round 1. That might be something where if you get a 50 and 52 and there's a quarterback that you like, you take them there. Maybe in round 3. I'm not sure I'd be doing that at number 18.
Hawks have been known to have a stable full of running backs. They got 3 of them right now. We saw Halani for a little bit last year as well. This draft is deep when it comes to RBs. It might be the deepest position in the draft. Do you expect them to draft an RB, and do you think they should?
Yeah, I think they probably should, because Ken Walker's a free agent in 12 months, and let's see what happens with his future. And Zach Charbonnet is already well into his rookie contract. Now, no one thinks they should go and draft, Quinshon Junkins in the 2nd round or Travion Henderson in the 1st. But I think when you get into sort of day 3, maybe even sort of the back end of round 3, there could be some really good value there. Some players that I like, Jaquindon Jackson at Arkansas, he's probably going to be there in the later rounds. Can you get him and bring him in and just sort of add him to the mix? He's somebody who I think can potentially start in the NFL. Do you want to get somebody who's a little bit different to what you've already got? Brashard Smith, perhaps, from SMU. Get him in, who's just a very different running back. And then you've got a whole bunch of players like Josh Williams at LSU is a player that I think teams will like. Cal Monangai at Rutgers. There are loads of running backs. You are going to be able to get one, even if it's in round 6, you're going to be able to get one who you think he is worth having at training camp this year. So I think they probably will draft one at some point, but I don't think it's going to be an early round pick this year.
Is there a player in this draft you absolutely love and you're like 90% sure the Seahawks aren't going to get him? And I don't mean because it's like not that this player would be it, but like a Cam Ward. I mean because let's say at 18, it's just not going to be a position of value and you're sure that he'll go before then. But maybe it's a player that you're like, I don't think he's going to be a Seahawk, but God, would I lose my mind.
Wow, there's about 6 players that I could say
Sure.
would fit into that. Do you know what? There's one player who I thought there was no chance he was going to last 18. I think he's the 6th best player in the draft based on the tape, and that was Jahad Campbell, the linebacker at Alabama. And then it's come out today that he's going to have labrum surgery, and that's quite a big deal. You know, he could be out for a long time. He might have to have a redshirt year, and he's now gone from somebody I think was working his way into the top 10 who could be there at 18. And, yeah, this is a force impact defender. He can play conventional linebacker. He can rush off the edge. He doesn't tackle. He hammers people, and he leaves a bruise. He leaves a mark. So it's the kind of player, old school mentality with a new school versatility and athleticism to his play at linebacker. So he was somebody that if you'd have asked me that question yesterday, I would have given him as the answer. But because of this injury issue, maybe he will be there at 18, and then you've got to do a lot of research on the medicals and wonder whether you want to take that risk.
What do you think the potential is for this defense? Stacy and I have been just raving about them. We think they can they're a good defense, above average now, but they can be, I think, one of top 10 defense in this league. What do you think their potential is?
When Mike McDonald took over the Baltimore Ravens defense, I think they were 27th or something like that in the NFL. In his first year as defensive coordinator, they were the 8th best defense. And in his second year, they were the 1st. So I think there's a chance that the Seahawks take a similar pathway here. And they've brought in some good players already. They've retained some good players. We saw what happened when Ernest Jones came into play in this defense. Now getting DeMarcus Lawrence's leadership, his ability to defend the run, he will provide some pass rush. A draft to come where you have 5 picks in the top 100. They're not all going to be offensive linemen. There are going to be some that are spent on the defense as well. They have got a chance to have a top 5 defense this year. I'm really, really believing that. The coaching staff that they've got, the personnel that they've already got, you chuck a couple of good draft picks into that defense as well, they've got a chance to be something special. So I'm very optimistic about this defense.
Now, your answer may lie on that side of the ball for this next question. But, Rob, we brought you on to talk about the draft, to talk about some of the new players that have been signed in free agency. That being said, you're very familiar with the Seahawks. And is there a player, perhaps a young player, that you think, I think there's untapped potential here, and I am very curious to see what his 2025 season looks like?
Yeah, I think Byron Murphy's probably the one that springs to mind, because when you sort of watched him, I'm not in Seattle, I'm in the other end of the world, but when you sort of look at the footage of Byron Murphy in training camp, I know what we were talking about a year ago. You're saying this guy's got the body shape of kind of a bit like Aaron Donald. He's not going to be Aaron Donald because he wasn't Aaron Donald on tape for Texas. But then you sort of watch him and his role, he was asked to do a lot of run defense. It was he was having to do a lot of the heavy lifting for maybe some of the rush work that Seattle did. I'm so interested to see what he's going to be in year 2. Because if you look at players like Grady Jarrett, who he was compared to when he was coming into the league, Grady Jarrett took a year or 2 to become really good. Quinnen Williams at the Jets took a good couple of years to become the Quinnen Williams we know now. So I'm thinking maybe year 2 from Byron Murphy, year 3, he could be something pretty special. So I'm very excited to see what he can do next year.
Rob, my last question it's a personal question, honestly, because, I grew up obviously in California, and where I'm from, a lot of cats don't play soccer. And I decided to play soccer, and I ran with it. And I think it's fascinating, and it's fun just to talk to someone with a different accent, with a different view of the game, and just get their insights to this. I think it's amazing. Man, how did you get into football? What was your journey?
So I used to live in Vancouver in Canada, and everybody I used to work with, I used to kind of tease them a little bit and say, American football is just rugby with pads on. And we don't even wear pads in England. We just get out there and we play rugby. And we went to Seattle. I watched a Mariners game. They lost 10-0 to the Blue Jays. And we walked past Quest Field, as it was known at the time. And I said to my girlfriend, my wife, I said, we've got to come back here. We've got to go to this stadium and see a football game. So we came back, Monday Night Football, 2006, Packers in the snow. As soon as I walked into that stadium, I thought, this is for me. This is pretty special. And just everything about that night. I have been obsessed with the Seahawks ever since. I've not missed a game. I love everything about the sport. I still like my English football as well, and that is what the day job is. But I can't get enough of this sport and the Seahawks in particular. So it's like my main passion, and it really, really annoys my wife and my friends that I dedicate so much of my energy and time to it.
Is there a cultural thing that felt different about like watching a football game here? Was there something where you thought like, oh my God, Americans? Crazy.
Do you know what the one thing it was? It was the connection between the team and the fans. You just don't have that over here as much. When they raised that 12 flag for the first time, and then one of the players, I can't remember who it was, it's a long time ago now, came running out of the tunnel holding a massive 12 flag, and all the fans were into it. It was great to sort of turn around and see Packers fans and Seahawks fans sat together. You can't do that over here in England because they'd be fighting each other. So everything about the experience, the game day experience, people were coming up and talking to me and my wife like we knew anything about the Seahawks that day. And I just felt like it kind of belonged. Like it was just a really cool atmosphere. So I've been back many, many times since, and I'm hoping to get over there again this year to see a game.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing, man. That's cool.
Yeah, we hope you're able to come back over. If you do, I hope we can snag you for a talk or, get some of your insight on what this team is going to look like in a couple months. If you guys want more insight from Rob, make sure you check out Seahawks Draft Blog. Amazing stuff there all the time. Rob Staton, thank you so much, Rob.
Thanks, Rob.
Anytime, guys. Thank you.
All right, let's get to 4 down territory.
This is 4 down territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
First down, we have official language for the Packers anti-tush-push rule proposal. Walk us through it, and what do you think about it?
All right, so the Packers, they're out there. They're just the leader. A lot of people have been complaining about this. The Packers say, you know what, I'll do it. And what their language is, they say it prohibits an offensive player from pushing a teammate who was lined up directly behind the snapper and receives the snap immediately at the snap. Sounds just like the tush push. So in my mind, as the offensive coordinator mind that I have, I'm trying to figure out, well, if that rule were in place, how would I combat this? How would I go against it? And my first thought would be, it probably wouldn't work, but this is just my first go at it. We have to practice this. Stacy, coaches try things or have ideas in the middle of the night. They put it on paper. Then you go to practice and you practice it and you go like, yeah, it ain't going to work. So this is probably one of those. But what I was thinking, I go, all right, let's put the quarterback right under the center, and as soon as he snaps the ball, just quick handoff to someone right to the left side of him, and then you get a push. It's going to take some time off of that. It's not going to happen as fast, but you're not directly behind the center. You're not getting the ball first. It can still hit a little bit. I don't know. That's my first go at it. I think the Packers are soft for this, but if they were to switch it up, that's what I would do.
Oh, that's so smart. And I also want to know what that looks like now.
And I got to go get some kids, put some pads on, and say, all right, boys. Line it up.
Let's just go find random kids and do this.
Kids.
Not even like, kids that you're training or kids that you've coached. Like, let's go find little Bobby.
Like I said, we'll go to Dave & Buster's.
Kids, gather around.
Kids gather.
We just want to see what something looks like real quick. People are like, what are you doing? We're calling the cops. Second down. We're just running through some plays. What is lost and what is gained when you look at the exit of Geno, DK, and Lockett and the arrival of Kupp, Darnold, and MVS?
All right, there's going to be a lot of numbers here, but bear with me, okay? I looked at red zone to start because that was everyone's biggest concern when it came to Geno. So 20 yards and in. Geno only completed 48% of his passes from there. Darnold completed 70% of his passes. Geno had 10 touchdowns from that area. Darnold had 20. Geno had 5 interceptions. Darnold had 4. So clearly, you're getting more efficient in the red zone. You also have to factor in the offensive line and the play calling. That's a factor. We don't have time for all of that. All right, so now let's talk about throwing the football down the field. 20-plus yard completions. Geno has 54. Darnold has 64. 30-plus yards. 14 for Geno, 20 for Darnold. 5-plus yards, 2 and 4. Like, they didn't really dink and dunk too much. So now let's go to poor passes. Poor passes. Geno had 71. Darnold had 90. Drops. Geno had 33. Darnold had 20. And then hurries. Geno had 41. Darnold had 55. So you're clearly getting better in the red zone. You are getting better when it comes to the deep ball. I think the offense has something to do with that. And I think you're getting better when it comes to the hurries. That has to do with the offensive line and the play calling. So now let's talk about the wideouts. When it comes to catches, 10-plus yards, DK had 47. Lockett 27, Kupp 25, MVS 12. You also have to keep into account the targets, right? Kupp didn't have as many targets as DK, and then MVS hardly had any as well. When it comes to the bigger plays, 30 yards down the field. DK 6, Lockett 3, Kupp 2, MVS 4, and then the big boys go to 50. You got DK with 2, Kupp with 1, MVS with 2, and then 16 had 0. The longest catch for DK is 71 yards, 37 for Lockett, 69 for Kupp, 71 for MVS, and now breaking tackles. This one surprised me. I didn't think Cooper Kupp broke any tackles, right? Now DK broke 4, Lockett broke 1, Kupp broke 3, MVS broke 1. It balances each other out. You don't get the consistent big play ability out of DK when you match him up with MVS, but I also think that Kupp gave you a bit more than what people actually realize. He's on par with 16 a little bit, but a bit better when it comes to the 20-yard gains, 30-yard gains, and of course the 50-yard gains and breaking tackles. I was surprised with this. You're definitely losing deep field threat consistently with DK. MVS is going to do that for you, but DK just showed that you give him the targets, he's going to get it done. So if that makes any sense to you, there are some numbers for you. You make what you want out of it. You're better in the red zone. You're not going to be as bigger threat down the field, but you'll make it up in some other places.
Third down. The Steelers have a proposal as well. What is it, and why do you actually like this one?
I like this because during this free agent period, there's a window to where you get to talk to players, but you have to go through your agent. Like, the teams can't speak directly to the players. So the Steelers are trying to propose a rule like, look, let's allow teams to talk to these players. Get on one meeting, and it can't exceed an hour. And if you do have an agent, your agent has to be present. If you don't have an agent, then it's just you all by yourself. I like this because you have to get to know these players. Their agent is going to say everything that they can to pump this guy up. They're going to talk about his personality, his family, his route running, all of this stuff. But there's nothing like being able to sit down and talk to a man, look him in the eye, and get a vibe for it. So I really like this. I don't understand why this isn't part of the deal anyway. There's always a middleman with this. I think that's old school. Let's switch this thing up, man, because teams need to know exactly what they're getting when it comes to the person. On film, you can watch the film and figure things out, but you don't know if a guy is a right fit or not during that small window. Now, there is a window where you can talk to guys and do all that good stuff, but I think it should be from jump. As soon as they're released, open up the window, let's go get it, and allow teams to make great decisions. But we just heard Cooper Kupp talk about how the Seahawks had the vision and he loved it, wanted to be a part of it. That could have been done a lot earlier and got this thing out the way.
Fourth down. We were just joined by BBC Sports reporter Rob Staton, also author of Seahawks Draft Log. Lots to cover there. What stood out?
So when everybody wants like a dime piece, everyone wants a dime, want to date a dime. If you could pick your woman of your dreams, you would pick her, and a lot of it be based off of what she looks like, right? Or what he looks like. Sure. And that came to my mind because I'm listening to Rob talk, and I asked him, how do you think this trio is going to compare to everyone in the league? He didn't even answer the question. He just said, this trio is good enough for what the Hawks need. And when it comes to your partner, sometimes that's what it is. Like, they might not be a 10 in all areas, all categories, but they work for you. And
so
things,
this trio's a 6 with a great personality.
I'm not going to call him a 6. Okay. We'll call him a 7.5.
Okay.
All right?
7.5 is great.
7.5 is good. But it just works. He thinks it's going to work for what they need. They're not going to impress you with 1,600-yard seasons and 16 touchdowns. I don't see that happening. But for what Kubiak wants to do, the personnel seems to fit now. You got to go out and prove it. But I just like that answer because it made sense. Everyone wants a Tyreek Hill or Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase. Sure. But sometimes you get what you got, you make the best of it, and it just works for you.
Well, sometimes, you might be a 7.5, which I think is a high rating.
That ain't bad.
But you're a 10 at like Lowe's. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's about the environment that you're in. Like, if you get, your running game actually going, like, to your point, it's basically like popping into, a random grocery store. All of a sudden, you're looking like a 10.
You're looking like a 10.
We're not talking about out on the scene in L.A. We're talking about down the street. At the Aurora Lowe's.
The Aurora Lowe's.
The Aurora Lowe's. I had, when I was leaving that Lowe's, a person who was walking on the street. And to keep it radio friendly, I will just say that.
They were working.
She was working, and she waved, and I just waved back. Like, I wasn't thinking. So, like, I think she was trying to see, like, who's in this car, and I was just, hi! Like, I just thought she was being friendly.
Well, she was.
I know. Hey, girl. And then I realized, like, okay, yeah. She's okay. So then I kept it moving, but I thought we were, like, making friends. This is what I thought. The timeline's next.
We are the home of the Mariners.
Big news, by God. We're excited to announce a multi-year partnership extension between the Seattle Mariners and Seattle Sports / Bonneville Seattle. So all Mariner games will continue to be heard on our platforms, including 7:10 a.m. The legend that is Rick Riz.
We couldn't be happier on behalf of the Seattle Mariners. We love the fact that we're going to be back on 710 Seattle Sports. Thank you so much. We're thrilled.
On Seattle Sports
and the Seattle Sports app.
Have you considered surgery or even joint replacement? Hey, it's Dave Wyman, and before you make that decision, see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Why? Because he gives it to you straight. Dr. Wagner said my right knee needs replacement, and I appreciate his honesty and expertise. My left knee is fine right now, but the minute it isn't, I'm heading to Dr. Wagner for his expert opinion. I want to avoid another surgery, and I've heard so many patients rave about results from their 90-minute outpatient stem cell procedure with Dr. Wagner. He's a board-certified Seattle physician with over 30 years of experience and has performed more than 20,000 stem cell procedures using a person's own stem cells to regenerate cartilage in their own joints. People with severe osteoarthritis, even bone on bone, are back doing what they enjoy without pain and without surgery. Whether it's a shoulder, hip, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com.
The brackets are now open. Compete in the Seattle Sports Bracket Bucks presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Head to seattlesports.com/win to pre-register. Receive your bracket and compete for your shot at great prizes. The grand prize winner from the 64-team bracket will win $1,000 in Visa gift cards. But if your bracket is busted in the first round, we have other ways for you to play too. Register and find complete rules at seattlesports.com/win.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear, call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container, because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
When it comes to great deals on tax prep, Jackson Hewitt isn't holding back, and neither is this commercial. Their offer is so big, it has to be said with Reverb. Expert tax prep for $149 or less. It's a deal so spectacular, it needs a symphony, some explosions, and a clock ticking, because this offer $149 or less ends soon. One expert tax prep for $149 or less. Try Jackson Hewitt today and save. Whew. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot doot, and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh, yeah.
And we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Free at every AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
We are Seattle Sports, the home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Watch your favorite show live at seattlesports.com.
No matter how old you get, you always remember that one great teacher. Hi, this is Rick Riz, inviting you to join WSECU in celebrating Teacher of the Week. Great teachers inspire. Nominate a teacher you feel has changed a life in our community. This year, we're going to honor 24 great teachers with grants of $500, courtesy of WSECU, the credit union for Washington. Teachers are the real MVPs. Nominate an exceptional teacher now at mynorthwest.com/teacher.
Making fresh produce and food affordable and accessible to all is a mission Safeway is deeply committed to. G. Scott here. Your local Safeway has all the great benefits that SNAP-eligible families love, plus exclusive savings. Right now, save 50% on Fresh Pass memberships, plus get a monthly $5 credit, free unlimited delivery, $10 of free produce, and double rewards. Check out your Safeway For You app for all details and savings, or visit Safeway.com/SNAP for details.
I've always said, the car sales in the 1980s and 1990s, earned the rep that we have today. The concerns that consumers have because of what has happened in our industry in the past, they're warranted. It's our job to show them that that's not how business is done anymore, right? It's very different business. It's much more transparent. There's much more information that's available to people. And we're much more customer focused than I think the car industry was, 20, 30 years ago. Yeah, I'm more focused on providing good customer service and relationships, because I think if you take care of people, money will always come. So I think just the philosophy and the focus for us has changed, where I was constantly chasing a paycheck, and now I'm just constantly trying to take care of customers and employees, because I know if I do that, then my paycheck will take care of itself.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
This is The Timeline
with Bump and Stacy.
Brought to you by 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
It is The Timeline on Bump and Stacy, reading you some fun trending stories you might see on your own timeline. That means stepping outside of Seattle a little bit, so here we go. Sota Fujimori is the luckiest 10-year-old in Japan. What happened? Well, when Shohei Ohtani hit his home run, it fell back onto the field. But Chicago Cubs center fielder Pete Crow Armstrong tossed the ball back into the stands to Sota. After the game, Fujimori told reporters, "I was really surprised. I couldn't believe it. I'm going to keep it as the family treasure." That's the cutest line I've ever heard.
That's awesome.
I'm going to keep it as the family treasure.
The family treasure.
The family treasure.
This thing is going to be in a glass box.
Aww.
They're going to, you know how Clemson, they walk out of their stadium, they touch something before they hit the field. That's what that ball is going to be like. Every day, they wake up, touch the Shohei ball, and you're going to have good luck for the rest of the day. That was awesome because if you watched a home run, it hit the top of the area, but it was deemed a home run. And the Cubs player didn't have to do that, but I think that's great awareness there, too, because they realize where they are and who that was and what that piece of memorabilia would mean for that little kid and their family. That was cool, man, and I love it. I will keep it as a family treasure.
Is there anything you have as a family treasure?
Family treasure? Like my grandpa's jewelry or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. His fishing rods, too. I got like 3 of his fishing rods.
That's a good family treasure. I don't know that we have... there's like some jewelry that my mom has is literally like a family treasure. Like she doesn't wear it, but it's like, oh, this was, your great grandmother, whatever. Another one though that we had that I'm glad she got rid of. And no offense to my mom, but she doesn't listen. She used to have this doll, and it was like her childhood doll, and she just had it for a while as like decor in the house. When I tell you this doll looked like Chucky, and I'm not exaggerating, I'm not just saying that to be funny. I was truly afraid. Actual fear of this.
Where
doll.
Was it?
In the hallway outside my bedroom.
In the hallway outside your bedroom.
And it would just sit and face my bedroom.
Dang. You never said anything?
No, that's her doll.
No, I had to say something.
Finally, she got rid of it. I don't know what happened. It's probably still out there looking at some other kid. It's weird. Tuesday's MLB opener between the Dodgers and Cubs in Tokyo drew an audience of 25 million viewers in Japan. According to MLB PR, it was the most watched MLB game ever in the country. For reference, the total population of Japan's around 125 million, meaning 1 in 5 Japanese citizens watched the Dodgers win Tuesday.
And it might be more than that.
Yeah.
Because you got, multiple families watching the game go down. I know I did my get off my lawn and I was complaining that it was too early in the morning and I should be able to watch my Dodgers. But if you are growing the game like this and you got 1 in 5 in a country watching this ball game, it was well worth it, man. Good job, MLB. I don't know what the advertisement was like over there. I'm sure it was crazy, and they made a big deal out of it. This is what? I know they did it last year. Is this the second year, or have they done it before that?
They've done it before. They've had tickets on the secondary market going for thousands of dollars.
That's wild.
Yes.
No, that's great. Good for the game, good for the country, good for Shohei. And because the Japanese players, man, they are arriving. They're not just pitchers anymore.
We're not done talking about North Carolina in the tourney. On FS1's Breakfast Ball, college basketball broadcaster John Fanta said it was a crime for UNC to be in the tournament.
North Carolina being in the NCAA tournament is a crime. They had 2 wins over the field, one of which came over American. They had 1 win over a high major team in the field, and that came against UCLA in a game that UCLA gave away. If you're going to hand a team that is 2-10 against teams in the field a bid to the NCAA tournament, what are we doing here? Why don't the results matter? The Tar Heels being in was flat out wrong.
Was it flat out wrong?
It was wrong when you compare it to the other teams who have resumes that qualify them to be in the mix or even be in the tournament. Where it's not wrong is you know why they're in the tournament. Yeah. They are going to sell tickets. They are going to travel. People will show up. It's going to be a draw on TV. I'm going to watch a North Carolina game. There are some teams or some matchups that I'll glance at it and look at the score and check on it to see if my bracket is busted. A North Carolina game, I might watch more than half of that game with all the other activities going on or whatnot. Yeah, it was wrong. But you know why they're in. They have influence. They are one of the blue bloods when it comes to men's basketball. And I'm not surprised. Doesn't mean it was right, though.
Mm-hmm. Next story. Tracy Morgan says food poisoning was to blame for his taking ill during Monday's Heat-Knicks game at Madison Square Garden. He said he's doing okay. On Instagram, he posted, more importantly, the Knicks are 1-0 when I throw up on the court, so maybe I'll have to break it out again in the playoffs. Honestly, it's only weird if it doesn't work. That's my take
He's
on it.
He's putting Madison Square Garden concessions on blast right now.
You know?
Blast. I got to fix that. Have you ever had food poisoning?
Yes, I had it when now there's like, oh, your stomach hurts or you feel a little queasy after you eat. And then there's food poisoning that takes you out. Mm-hmm. Like you are basically bedridden.
Yeah, so I feel them. I've never been in the hospital because of food poisoning, but I've been laid up in my bed, curled up, and all that good stuff. Y'all got to switch some stuff at Madison Square Garden, man. Come on.
Yeah.
That's the mecca of basketball. Better food. And he's in courtside, too?
It was, yes, he's
That's like Diamond Club.
And he throws up a lot.
It's like Diamond Club, man. Hook this man up.
A lot.
You saw the video?
I saw still photos. But it, you know, look, who among us hasn't thrown up in public?
I have. Really embarrassing.
When did you do it?
The most embarrassing one I was in.
What's the most embarrassing
day
moment
camp?
you've
I was in just summer day camp, and we were doing a dance performance. We were practicing, and I got on the merry-go-round before and ate yogurt. So we're practicing. I'm hitting it, and I threw up, and it was like purple yogurt. And thank God the camp session was done like the next day because I didn't have to go back and relive that too many times.
That's like a scene from like a kid's movie.
Yeah, it was bad.
Oh, that's bad. Moving on. Well, let's switch from a very unappetizing topic to maybe a better one. This year's Masters dinner menu has been released, courtesy Scotty Scheffler, obviously, who put this one together. Let me read it to you guys. Appetizers, okay? This menu is okay, but I think it's a heartburn menu. Cheeseburger sliders, firecracker shrimp, or Papa Chef's meatball ravioli bites. I just want to pause here and say ravioli as an appetizer is a weird choice.
Ravioli's bomb, though.
Ravioli's bomb. Ravioli bites as an appetizer.
Bites. So they're crusted on the outside, right? Or is it just? I mean, what's the difference between ravioli and ravioli bites?
I think it's just that they're probably smaller, and you probably only get a couple. It's like a little ravioli, baby ravioli.
Man, I bet you the Europeans are like, we got to win this tournament soon.
Yeah,
because we are
looking
tired
at this
of eating cheeseburgers. Firecracker shrimp.
They're literally like, you're telling me there's beef in the appetizer, entree, and dessert?
Yeah. Is there any vegetables on this thing?
No. First course, Texas-style chili. My secondary complaint about this menu. I don't want chili as an entree.
I mean, chili could be bomb. Dip it in some bread.
Switch
dip
those.
The bread in it.
You know what I mean? Like a little baby chili with some bread for an appetizer, and then ravioli as a main course.
Okay. I see where you're going.
Right? You could pick up what I'm putting down right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Main course, you get ribeye or blackened redfish. It comes with Brussels sprouts if you're wondering where the vegetables are.
Okay, we need some green.
Yeah. And then, it also comes with macaroni and cheese.
Don't mess up the mac and cheese.
Dessert, warm chocolate chip skillet cookie with vanilla bean ice cream. Just classic,
I'm saying
classic
this
dessert.
is a cheat day for me. This is a cheat day.
Is this one of the better menus that you've seen?
I don't spend too much time on the menus.
This is a pretty, again, I think it's a heartburn in a can menu.
It
But
definitely
this is a pretty, like, I would eat every course, which isn't always the case with the Master's dinner menu. Sometimes I'm like, really?
Sometimes I get a little too bougie.
Yeah, like you got to choose anything and you chose that? Really? But this one's solid. You absolutely will be feeling
It's
it.
American as heck, tell you that.
Sure. This menu yells at you. Let's see. Matt wrote, Stacy, if you won the Masters, what kind of dressing would be served with your kale salad? First of all, I would not have kale salad on my menu. It would be a Caesar salad.
Well, there we go. I knew it was a salad.
That would not be the entree. It would be an appetizer. I don't even know. What would be your premier thing on your Masters menu that you want to make sure you have?
Steak.
Okay, fine.
Steak, mashed potatoes. And then you throw some greens in there.
See, I'd want pure chaos. Entree, lean cuisines. Every golfer there just so angry. And you have to take the plastic off yourself, like when it's served to you.
And you're dealing with dudes who have like
Millionaires.
$60 million in the bank.
I want my Masters dinner to be just a moment where everyone gets humbled. Dessert, Pop-Tarts in a bag. You have to share with the person next to you because it's 2 Pop-Tarts.
They're leaving
per
and
bag.
meeting up at Applebee's after that.
Moving on, it's Cowherd versus Kupp. Don't go anywhere.
Seattle Sports, your home for Wyman and Bob. Weekdays 2 to 7.
The Sam Darnold contract details, it's essentially a one-year deal if they want to get out of this.
It looks like a good deal to me. I don't think there's anybody that could be sideways about this contract.
I think this is a great deal. I think John nailed it.
There is some question as to which Sam Darnold it is. There was those pesky 6 years where it wasn't good for Sam Darnold.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Well, the longer days, the sunny breaks in the weather, they've got me dreaming of summer, right? Getting out in the golf course, heading on vacation, or just enjoying our beautiful Northwest region. Make this summer one to remember by looking and feeling your absolute best. You can do it, and if you start right now, you can accomplish that goal before Memorial Day weekend. It's Mike Salk here, and 45 days is all it takes. You can lose almost a pound each day. I lost 35 total with Eastside Weight Loss Clinic, and I'll let you in a little secret. Those 45 days, they're not even that hard. No crazy dieting, no cardio or crazy exercise. Definitely no pills or injections with any kind of potentially scary side effects. None of that. You're eating healthy, delicious meals that you make for yourself and buy at the grocery store, and you watch the pounds absolutely fall off. Find out if you can do it. I know you can. A 15-minute call is all it takes. No obligation. Schedule it right now at eastsideweightlossklinic.com. You got nothing to lose other than like a ton of weight. Go to eastsideweightlossklinic.com. Dr. Ryan Coogan, DC. Results may vary.
This is Matt Coker from West Coast Men's Health. Has Viagra stopped working for you? Do you hate the side effects? If you've taken Viagra for any length of time, you already know that pills are not the solution to ED. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. No pills, no shots, no surgery. We can also treat Peyronie's disease. Our non-invasive treatment for ED is painless and highly effective. We have treated thousands of men just like you. Stop living with this problem and do something about it. Do yourself a favor, do your partner a favor, and call us today.
Call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com. HSA cards welcome and financing available.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
So here's the deal with Mariners season ticket memberships. You've got two great options. With a Flex membership, you have the freedom to pick your seats, games, and number of tickets whenever you want. Or if you like knowing where you're sitting all season long, go with a reserved membership and lock in your seats from day one. Both plans get you access to exclusive pre-sales, year-round discounts, special event invites, and more. Check it out at mariners.com/25.
Now Raleigh wins it in the 10th inning for the Mariners.
The John Schneider Show.
Every Thursday until draft day on Wyman and Bob.
Listen live Thursdays at 4 p.m. or watch the interviews on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Bob Stelton here for Asset Roofing, and they have got the perfect slogan. You're either hiring a liability or you're hiring an asset, and I witnessed this firsthand when I met Anthony, the owner, and again when I had him do work on my roof. Now this spring, replace your aging roof with Asset Roofing because you're either hiring a liability or you're hiring an asset. Check them out at AssetRoofingCo.com. That's AssetRoofingCo.com.
Certified work that's never in doubt. Asset Roofing, excellence is on the house.
You've heard the saying, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Since 1926, my family's been helping local businesses make great first, second, and long-term impressions. We know how to make your company look good with quality uniforms, logoed apparel, floor mats, linens, and more. If you're paying for linen service or doing it yourself, let's have the conversation. The information and quote are free, but the savings and service can really add up. Visit suplinen.com. Superior Linen Service. It's what we do.
Meanwhile, at Xfinity. So, influencer life going well?
Oh, yeah. I'm up to 32 followers.
Oh, that's something.
Yeah. Posting my tap dancing videos is easier than ever because we engineered Xfinity Internet with 99.99% network reliability.
Plus, Xfinity Mobile with Wi-Fi Power Boost gives you ultra-fast Wi-Fi at home and on the go. But wait, tap dancing? You don't tap dance.
Hey, what I lack in skill, I make up with passion.
Do more of what you love and love how fast you do it with Xfinity Internet and mobile. And now through April 21st, get 300 megabit Xfinity Internet and one unlimited mobile line together for $25 a month for 1 year and save $1,000 in your first year over Verizon and AT&T. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Savings compared to Verizon 5G Internet plus one unlimited welcome line and AT&T Internet 300 plus one unlimited starter SL line. Xfinity Internet required. Actual speeds vary. Reduced speeds after 30 gigabits of usage per line. Data thresholds and actual savings vary.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
We began the show by playing a bit of sound from Cooper Kupp's press conferences, and we mentioned that one cut from his interview with Wyman and Bob was so interesting that we wanted to play it as its own segment. So that's what we're going to do here. And we're going to juxtapose it with a take from Colin Cowherd, which we've already played yesterday, but I'm going to play that again so you guys can remember exactly what he said. Colin Cowherd did not understand and does not understand Seattle signing Cooper Kupp.
One of the strangest contracts to me was Cooper Kupp. John Schneider, the GM of Seattle, has almost never missed on receivers. Jesus, he's been fantastic with wide receivers. Cooper Kupp doesn't separate. I mean, Sean McVay moves off a receiver. I mean, they re-signed Tutu Atwell because he gets open. They went and paid for older Devontae Adams because if you go look at the analytics, he gets open. Cooper Kupp doesn't get open at all. Yeah. But the Cooper Kupp deal, when you look at the Sam Darnold contract, which could end up being just a 1 year, $37 million deal, if you look at the way it's laid out, do you think Darnold is a 2 to 3 year play in Seattle? Because the Cooper Kupp move is like, damn. Are you going all in on Sam?
To answer your question, Colin, yeah, I do think that right now, when you look at the structure of Sam Darnold's contract, it sure does feel like a 1 to maybe 3 year play. But Seattle has an option to leave this contract behind after the first year, and as long as Sam isn't hurt, with no guaranteed money left. So you can move on. That being said, we're talking about Cooper here. So, Bump, this was Cooper Kupp being asked basically like, hey, what do you still have left? Like, you've got critique, whether it's from Colin Cowherd, whether it's from fans with Seattle or with the Rams, who say, what does he really have left?
I see myself as an ascending player. I get to see every rep I take. I get to see every practice rep. I get to see every off-season rep. I get to see every workout rep that I take. I get to experience all these things, and I see myself playing this game, and I envision where I see a DB doing something. I envision how I want to run around and what I want this thing to look like. If I couldn't do that, I'd be done.
that's not, it wouldn't be fun to me anymore if I couldn't do that. The way I see myself is still being able to manipulate these guys and do the things that I want to do. That's who I am. And that's who I believe myself to be. All the other stuff, all the narratives out there about anything else, they don't get to have the whole picture. They don't get to have the whole story. But I believe in myself and who I am. And I'm really excited to be able to come out and play really good football. Really excited to be play some high-level football and be the player that I see myself as.
What did you think about Kupp's answer there?
I think he's right. I think he obviously has slowed down. He's 31 years of age. Right now, I was 31. I'm not doing things I was doing when I was 27. That's just how the body works. But I still think he does some great things. I really want to go back and respond to Cowherd, though.
Yeah.
Where he lost me, you lose me completely. This tells me that people are just feeding you information and you are just taking it.
Ooh.
Where he goes, Davante Adams, you look at the analytics, he's separating. What analytics? If he would have said, I watched the film, I've consulted in people who play the game, and Davante Adams is still separating, and they say Cooper Kupp is not, then I would say, okay. But as soon as you say, Big Ray went on this yesterday about offensive line. As soon as you say, if you look at the analytics, what analytics are you talking about? Let's be real, though. He's not separating the way he used to. He's not. He's gotten older, and his game has been being a violent player, and he can't be as violent because he's an older man. But like Kupp just said, he can still manipulate people and move them the way they want to. The separation just isn't as big as it used to be. And then Cowherd says, well, that's why they signed Tutu Atwell, because he can separate. All right, Tutu is younger, and he's probably faster. He has 10 big plays. Cooper Kupp has 10 big plays. Tutu Atwell has 120 yards of yak. Cooper Kupp has 269 yards of yak. Yeah, Tutu is younger and can create more space, but those analytics say that they're neck and neck. So I think there's always going to be some truth about a player slowing down because it's more evident in football than any other sport because it's such a start and stop violent type of sport.
Yep.
But what saves you as a receiver is recognizing coverages, understanding your route combinations, and moving guys. And you don't have to be fast. Wes Welker was not fast his whole career, one of the best to do it. Julian Edelman, not fast his whole career, still able to do it. So as long as Kupp can adjust his game, which it sounds like he is, he'll be fine. Stop throwing analytics out there on something that I feel like cannot be analyzed unless you're watching the film when it comes to separation.
Exactly. I was just going to say, there are things that you can pull together that can give you an idea of, for instance, there are stats about how much space a receiver has at the point of the catch. There are stats about how many tackles might be broken for a player before or after the catch, right? Yards after catch, I wouldn't even count as advanced analytics. It's just what it is. But there are analytics that have been developed and that are applied to different players where you can try to recognize space. What you miss if you don't watch tape is how a player creates that space. Was it a complete breakdown with the defense? Did they play a horrible defense, or is this player super evasive? And the second thing it can't tell you is how easy it might be for certain body types, for certain receivers to create space. Who's got a better chance of creating space? An outside receiver who's got one guy to beat and maybe it's their third best corner, or a guy running across the middle who's going to be in the slot more often than not. That guy's going to have to be the slot guy a little shiftier, and it's going to be a little tougher, and he's probably going to have a little more contact, may not have as much yards after catch, depending on how your offense is structured. Mm-hmm. But to your point, it's exactly that. If all you say is, Davante Adams can create more space. We're talking about two very different receivers here. And I really liked and appreciated Kupp saying, I see all my reps. Mm-hmm. You don't. I see all my plays. You don't. And a player is always going to be highest on himself, but I am always fascinated by how long players in the modern NFL can keep pushing off father time.
Cowherd messed up because he's right about Davante, though. He does create more space, but you're not basing that off of study and research. It sounds like a producer just put something in his ear, so he went and ran with it. And I think it's important that you keep your source in perspective. Cowherd is at the top of the game. He's top 5 at what we do. So he's going to get fed all this stuff, and it's his job to create a strong opinion about somebody, and he has to cover so many things that in this situation right here, I just don't think he really did the research, just kind of threw something out there. The facts are Devontae Smith does create more space. The facts are that Cooper Kupp has slowed down. But what he neglected to recognize is that there are ways that slow receivers get open all the time. Jake Bobo runs a 4.9 and will get open at times. Why? Because of body language, because of understanding of coverage. You just missed a whole part of the game, especially at the receiver spot, that allows a guy who's slowing down to still create some space.
Well, and that's, again, why it's always helpful to have an analyst, because when you're a host that hasn't played, you do forget about those things, or you don't always consider those things. And it is a lot easier to look at a player's age and go, all right, this is a major factor in my analysis of this person. But again, we will see what Cooper Kupp actually brings to Seattle again. I mean,
they got to prove it.
Yeah, the Rams didn't feel that he was worth his contract anymore. They wanted to offload that. They aren't rebuilding. They hung on to Matthew Stafford. So we'll see what he looks like in Seattle. But I'm fascinated by what this offense could be with Clint Kubiak at the helm, and obviously a new name at quarterback and wide receiver. Opening day is almost here, and we're sending one of you and a friend to experience it like never before. Imagine getting front row access to the opening ceremonies, player introductions, the first pitch, and so much more, all from the field. To enter, all you need to do is open the Seattle Sports app and click the Win tab to find out how. If you don't already have the app, just text the word app, APP, to 866-979-3776, and we'll send you a link to download. Enter daily to increase your chances to win. This contest runs through Friday, March 21st. Speaking of the Mariners, play-by-play man Aaron Goldsmith joining us next.
Opening day is almost here, and we're sending one of you and a friend to experience it like never before.
Swing and a drive, deep to left field.
With front row access to all the opening day ceremonies, from player introductions to Ichiro's ceremonial first pitch, all from the field. To enter, just open the Seattle Sports app and click on the Win tab. If you don't already have the app, simply text app to 866-979-3776 and we'll send you a link to download. Enter daily to increase your chances to win. This contest runs through Friday, March 21st.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home and make price-boosting upgrades with no cost until close. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Music that moves your soul.
Cheerio, cheerio, baby.
Live at Muckleshoot Event Center, Thursday, April 24th. Get tickets before they sell out at muckleshootcasino.com.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. we can help.
Hey friends, Stacy here. Are you looking for the best deal on a new Ford or Isuzu in the Pacific Northwest? Go to Wayscar Ford in Auburn, wayscarford.com. Family owned and operated since 1922. Wayscar Ford offers a free lifetime powertrain warranty on virtually all of their new Fords and a large selection of the highest quality used vehicles. Wayscarf in Auburn promises no games, no gimmicks, never any pressure to purchase, and is the only Ford dealer in Washington to offer a 5-day or 500-mile, no questions asked, 100% money-back return policy. And what if you're just looking to sell your car? Wayscarf in Auburn will purchase your used car, pay you up front, and then share 50% of the profit on your old car. Wayscar Ford in Auburn is the only dealer in Washington with a profit-sharing program, and they've paid back over $750,000 to participating customers. I loved my Wayscar Ford experience for my brand new Bronco Sport, and I know that you will too. Go to wayscarford.com. That's Wayscar Ford in Auburn.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is for you too. Stubborn fat is really hard to get rid of, and then there's all those gimmicky lasers, fat freezing methods, and prescriptions. Imagine a simple solution that takes just one day and provides immediate noticeable results. Introducing ProSculpt. ProSculpt uses air-assisted technology that's safe and gentle yet powerful, delivering instant fat-reducing and skin-tightening results. Performed by board-certified plastic surgeons while fully awake, ProSculpt contours your body with minimal downtime. It's designed to target those problem areas: waistline, neck, face, arms, thighs. ProSculpt gently removes unwanted fat and tightens loose skin with FDA-cleared plasma technology, all in a simple, guaranteed one-day procedure. ProSculpt is one and done. Schedule your free consultation at prosculpt.com for $250 off. For powerful permanent fat removal and skin tightening that works for ladies and you men, it's prosculpt.com.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
At least one team is out of the Aaron Rodgers sweepstakes for ESPN. The Vikings, who were pursuing Rodgers, are moving past discussions with him, instead leaving last year's first-round pick J.J. McCarthy at the helm. Shohei Ohtani met the moment in the Tokyo Dome, hitting his first home run of the season in the 5th inning, giving the Dodgers the win 6-3 for a 2-game sweep of the Cubs. An undefeated season still in play for L.A.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Aaron Goldsmith, Mariners play-by-play for Root Sports, joining us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Hey, Aaron, how's it going?
Stacy, Bump, it's great to be with you. How are you guys doing?
We are fantastic. We're basically a week away from opening day. I can't believe it's already here, which I'm sure is how you feel and how everyone around this team feels. I am going to start by taking a look at how the roster is taking shape before we get into some season predictions and questions. I keep hearing things about maybe Ryan Bliss making more of a battle for himself at second and also a crowded room at first. Tell me what this infield is shaping up like.
Yeah, Ryan Bliss came in certainly as part of a kind of a three-man mix to make that opening day second base job, with kind of Cole Young being the odd man, probably with the toughest odds, I should say, of making it. But he had a slow start to spring, and I think it's probably fairly clear at this point that he will not be in that mix. But yeah, between Bliss and Dylan Moore, and I think the question comes down to kind of two parts at second base, and one is obviously who is your better overall second baseman right now. But then the other thing too that I'm kind of curious how the club feels about this, and that is, Dylan Moore's greatest asset is his versatility, and if you put him at one singular position, at least primarily, not that he couldn't still move around, and not that what you do on opening days, which you'll do for the next 6 months, but I think Dylan's greatest asset is his versatility, and so there is kind of this intriguing nature of being able to keep him in flex, right, where you can move him around a little bit. And Bliss made a pretty firm effort over the offseason to get better at one thing, and that is hitting fastballs. That has been his main focus. I think he's also worked defensively as well. He has had a good spring. So does that mean that it's Bliss at second base and Dylan Moore as your utility man like we've seen him for so many years? That certainly is a possibility. And at first base, I think, I look at Donovan Solano as Justin Turner. I mean, he's basically fills the same role, and in some ways you can make the case gives the Mariners, I don't think you make the case, it's just a fact. He gives the Mariners more versatility, right? Justin Turner was limited to 2 spots, first base and DH. And now you have a platoon at first between Rayleigh on the strong side of that platoon as a lefty hitter and Solano. And Solano can play first, he can play third, and he can DH. So he does give you the ability to play over third base if Polanco needs a day. And I'm getting the sense with Polanco's offseason knee injury, or surgery, I should say, and him being kind of tempered back into action, as we've seen in spring training, that very well could kind of carry over into April in the regular season. And if that is the case, then you have Solano's ability to play at third base as well, to go along with a guy like Dylan Moore. So there is some, you're right, there are some options there, some flexibility. And if I was Dan Wilson, I would like having that flexibility.
Aaron, naturally that rotation gets a lot of attention, but I'm interested in the bullpen because we know that the starters are going to put them in great position. What's that looking like? How's Brash looking? Santos? Just give me a vibe of that bullpen.
Yeah, Brash, they're pretty confident that we'll be seeing Matt Brash again by the end of April at some point. And I think Jackson Kowar, who we did not see last year, Tommy John in spring training, somewhat similar to Brash. Kowar, it seems like, will maybe be a month or so, maybe roughly a month, let's say, behind Brash. And so that's 2 really big arms that you're getting back. The Mariners are in a position where, breaking camp at least, they're really just needing to kind of Band-Aid over parts of the bullpen until everyone gets healthy. I think there's some real bounce back hope for a guy like Gabe Spire, who has thrown the ball very well over the course of spring training. Santos, it does feel like they've kind of slowly played him into spring. I still don't think we really know what Gregory Santos is. Like, he's had a season with the White Sox. It was 2 years ago, and he was spectacular. Obviously, last year he hardly pitched. We know what I should rephrase that. We know what he can look like when he's right, when in that 1 year, but we just haven't seen it in a Mariners uniform. And I think the Mariners are being very careful, very cautious as to getting him back into that play, because we know this: the Mariners are a very different team when they've got a big 3 in the back of the bullpen, with Munoz kind of being the kingpin there. So there are definitely arms that are in play. They're trying to either get them healthy or ensure that they stay healthy.
You mentioned bounce back, and I'm sure you've been asked this question a million times, or at least have talked about it, because bounce back seems to be a theme for a lot of what the Mariners are hoping for from their team this year. In what case or two is a bounce back season a fair expectation? And in maybe, is there another player where you think, like, it's kind of unfair to expect some big bounce back?
Well, I think I'm kind of rolling through the roster right now. I mean, I don't know of a player where you don't know if a bounce back is possible. I mean, the only one, I hate to say it because he's been such a big part of the franchise, and that's Mitch Haniger. I just don't know if we know kind of where he is right now in his career. And obviously he's been dealing with injury in spring training that has held him back with a shoulder. But outside of that, I think it's very fair to not just hope, but really kind of hopefully expect a bounce back from Mitch Garver. The list can be long here, right? Mitch Garver, from J.P. Crawford. I think you believe that Julio still hasn't had his best season yet. I mean, there are a lot of players who will play their whole career and not have a season like Julio had last year, and yet by Julio standards, It was his worst year, right? So I think there's certainly expectation that he can be much better than last year and possibly post his career year up to this point. And the list kind of goes on from there. So I think basically with all of them, you're certainly hoping for bounce back. I don't know how else this team will make the playoffs unless so many of those guys do have a bounce back, to be perfectly candid about it.
I don't know how much you know about this, Aaron, but has there anybody that you've heard of or seen have just a different approach to spring training because everyone's looking for this bounce back year?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, Bump, it sounds like you're asking more of just like more than just like their physical approach at the plate, but more of just how they're handling everything? Is that what you're asking?
Everything. I'm talking their mental, their prep, maybe a schedule change. I mean, you've been around this team a few years, so if you've noticed any change in habits in someone that the Mariners are expecting to produce.
Not offensively. I know, like, I think for a lot of guys, if there is a change, it would potentially be a tweak here, a tweak there. An example I can give, it comes in the bullpen, but I talked to Gabe Spire, and I asked him, hey, last year, how much do you contribute your lack of performance just to injury? And he said quite a bit. And he said one thing that he changed over the offseason was that he never stopped throwing. Most of these guys, they will take a somewhat significant amount of time off just from picking a ball up at the end of the year. And for Gabe, he bought a net off Amazon, just like a net that we would use in like a little league field to throw or hit into. And he set it up in his backyard. And every day of the offseason, even early, he threw into that net. And even if in October, just 20 throws just to keep his arm moving. And he really credits that with when he did start to ramp up and get more into the offseason work that you would normally do as a major league reliever. He felt like there was much less time he needed to kind of get his arm loose. And I don't just mean for that day, but kind of get it from off-season mode to training mode, then to in-season mode. He really credits that as kind of something that has helped him catapult so quickly into spring training. And as you guys have seen, his velocity has been up from last year more to what it was 2 years ago when he had that breakout season. So that's an example, at least on the pitching side.
The Mariners entering the year with mostly the same roster, I know was frustrating for a lot of fans, but also offers an interesting comp to comparing two managers. There's going to be external factors that affect this, guys being healthier maybe, right? Yeah, getting off to quicker starts. But in what ways, Aaron, and I know it's early, can you see differences between how Scott Service managed, maybe how the club felt under his leadership versus Wilson?
Yeah, it's funny. Like if Mitch Garver goes off and has a season like he did 2 years ago, like, and no part of me thinks that it's like Dan Wilson's pixie dust, right, and that Scott Service ruined him, right?
Yeah.
That's not a knock on Dan, and it's just kind of the way that baseball is at times. But I do think, and I really enjoyed spending time with Scott and learning baseball from Scott. I thought he was a very good manager for the Mariners. But that being said, when I do talk with people in Arizona about what camp has been like, I do feel like it has been there's been a little more weight lifted off the back for different players and different reasons. It's funny. Greg Olson, I was listening to a broadcast he had during the NFL season last year, and he talked about the ping pong table or the pool table effect in the NFL. And like when there's a new administration, a new regime comes in, GM head coach, it's like if there was a pool table, we gotta get the pool table out. Right? Like pool table,
just
like guys are too loose.
Changes. I got a new culture.
Yeah, like right. And it's like if there wasn't a pool table, then guys, we got to bring a pool table in. Like we got to get things looser.
Yeah.
Right. And I thought it was a great point by Greg. And I like one little change to that this year, and I wouldn't dare go so far as to say that this was an intentional thing by Dan. I don't know how much he was even aware of it. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. But like, in the past, there was a great deal of morning meetings, and they were like somewhat like highly produced for the Mariners, right? There were guys who would stand up, and there was like, we get to know this player. And it was like, we heard about this a lot, was the morning meeting. And now, from the sense I get, my time spent in Arizona and talking to people, like there are those morning meetings here and there, but it is not an everyday thing. And I can understand if you're a player and you're like, hey man, it's spring training, I'm trying to get through this, I'm trying to stay healthy, I'm counting down the days to the regular season and opening day, right? Like some days you just kind of like want to go in, like go get your treatment, go to the cage, get your hacks in, go play catch, go to the backfields, do your thing, right? Like maybe you don't want that every day. I kind of liken it to Joe Madden with the Rays, or specifically with the Rays. Like his thing with the Rays of, like, we were in Tampa Bay one time when they brought a boa constrictor into the clubhouse. Joe Madden did. Okay. Like those things have a shelf life, right? Like it had a shelf life for Joe Madden. And I think maybe that had a shelf life for the Mariners. Like, it was really good for a while, then maybe it wasn't. It's hard for me to know specifically or exactly since I'm not in that clubhouse, but that's just kind of the sense that I get. And some players will maybe feel the same way. Some players might disagree. But I do feel like there's less of that kind of thing. There is still a pool table, but there is less of that kind of thing going on this spring training. And I think that in and of itself probably gives a little bit of a different feel to things.
Hey, I don't think Stacy and I were surprised when Logan was announced as the opening day starter. I just want your perspective from it. Why do you think it went down, and if you would have made that move as well?
I did give it some thought. I remember Gary and I were talking about it on the phone for a while, and I'll be honest, when I first kind of heard the ideas of this, I was on Team Castillo, mostly because I like the idea of like a successive run of opening day starts, and Gilbert from a scope of just last year, right, was the better starting pitcher. I fully acknowledge that. But the more I thought about it, like, who doesn't want to work in a culture where what you do really matters? Like, obviously it matters. It's the big leagues. It's the show, right? Like, it matters. But if I was one of those 5 starting pitchers, I would like going into every year being like, hey, man, like, I'm going to show them. I'm going to show them that I'm the best of the 5. And next year, that opening day spot's mine. Like, I would love it if George Kirby won next year's opening day starter, right? Or Bryce Miller did. Or Castillo gets it back. Like, it's such a unique dynamic with those 5. I think it's pretty obvious, even to the casual fan, that they have a very good relationship, those 5, which is unique. I'm sure there's other rotations that have good relationships. This one, I've never been around one like this before. And I think it's really cool, the culture that has already been set. And I feel like this is kind of taking that rotation culture, that pitching culture, a step even farther. Because it's saying like, hey, yeah, it's Gilbert this year, but guess what? He's gonna have to earn it for next year. And I think that's really special. And Bump is, as a former athlete, I'm sure like that's all any athlete wants, right? Like, you want a chance. Mm-hmm. You want your shot. And you want to know that what you do on the field matters and that you can earn it with your play. And Gilbert earned it with his play. And I think it's really cool that obviously that he did that, because it speaks to the Mariners. He was drafted and developed, identified by the Mariners, and everything that they thought he could be, he has been, and maybe even more. And then for Dan and the rest of the coaching staff to take it a step farther and say, you know what, you're the guy because you earned it. I think that's really cool.
Good stuff from Aaron Goldsmith. Aaron, thanks so much for taking the time. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Aaron.
Hey, great being with you guys.
See ya. Let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news with Bump and Stacy.
According to sources, the Vikings are rolling with J.J. McCarthy at quarterback and no longer pursuing Aaron Rodgers. What's the real headline?
This will be his darkest darkness retreat yet. I'll add on an update to this from what we had this morning. ESPN's Adam Schefter reporting Aaron Rodgers still very much not in a rush.
I bet. He's got money. He's surrounded by people who love him that aren't his family, but I'm sure he's surrounded by people who love him. He's Aaron Rodgers, man. He's going to do his thing. I wasn't against the idea of having Aaron Rodgers go to the Vikings and kind of mentor J.J. McCarthy, but I'm not against them rolling with J.J. McCarthy either. Yeah. The reason why I'm not against it is because you don't know the type of influence that Aaron Rodgers would have over there. He's not the nurturing type. He's not going to take you under his arm and say, look, this is how you become a pro. He's just going to work, and you take what you want from him. Having J.J. be the guy gives you 4 years with him and Justin Jefferson, potentially even more. 2 years with Addison, and then Kevin O'Connell signed a 5-year deal. That gives O'Connell time to figure out if JJ is the guy or not. Mm-hmm. How many years they're going to give him, we shall see. I hope they give him 2, maybe 3 years to try to figure this out, but they're in a window because they have some young talent over there. They've improved their offensive line a little bit. They're making some moves. So why not go with this young guy? I would not be opposed to a veteran going over there and giving him another year, but if they feel like they want to ride with him and he's ready, so be it, man, because influence is a lot, and you don't know what you would have gotten with Rodgers, but you know that this young man would have learned how to prepare. Say what you want about Aaron Rodgers. He's prepared for every game he plays.
The weirdest thing about what Aaron Rodgers is doing right now is if there were 3 openings that you thought he's going to get exactly what he wants there, it makes sense that he would really take his time to make the right decision. Then I could understand taking so long. Likewise, if he truly is, and this is a report from The Athletic, if he truly is ruminating over whether or not he wants to retire, then you can also understand him taking his time. What this feels like right now, today, on March 19th, is Aaron Rodgers choosing between the Steelers, a place he's probably going to end up going to because he can be the starter all year, or a place that's going to eventually bench him for their young guy. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, when there's one obvious choice, if you want to keep playing, why is it taking so long?
Just want to be certain. And he's not certain, or he's seeking attention. And with Aaron Rodgers, we will never know.
Headline rewrites.
Shohei Ohtani hit his first home run of the 2025 season early this morning inside the Tokyo Dome. What's the real headline?
Perfect season still in play. 162-0. It can still
Come on,
happen.
let's go. 2-0. Best in the world, Craig.
Best in the world. The best record in baseball right
Best
now
in baseball.
belongs to the Los Angeles
Anybody
Dodgers.
touches. That was a perfect debut for Shohei. You go home to your country, you hit a bomb. I believe the first day he had maybe 1 or 2 hits, hit a double or something like that. I mean, he just performed. And he said for the first time he was nervous. But on the other end, you still had Suzuki, plays for the Cubs. And he had an opportunity late in the game to tie the game up. I believe there was runners on first and second or something like that. Didn't step up in the moment, but it was nice to have 2 Japanese players kind of highlight this thing and have their moments or have the potential to have their moments. So that was fun to watch. And Tommy Edman, no one talks about Tommy Edman. When you talk about the Dodgers, you talk about the big names, right? Mookie, Shohei, Freddie, all those guys. But Tommy Edman is continuing that spark that he had for us in the playoffs. Without Tommy, we probably don't win a World Series championship. And he's kind of like the underdog. So it's nice to see him kind of step up on the scene and do their thing. Kiki Hernandez as well. It was just fun, man. I'm a Dodger fan, and it was fun to watch these guys perform when everyone's watching.
Defending champion Scotty Scheffler said he's confident he'll be improving heading into the Masters. What's the real headline?
Bump, do you think Tiger's going to improve in heading into the Masters?
He's got no choice. He ruptured his Achilles. I mean, you can only get better from there,
You
right?
can't rupture it more unless you're Deshaun Watson.
You just stay there, stay put, don't move,
Right.
and work on your putting or something like that. This one hurts. Not going to see Tiger for the whole major season, whole golf season. He's 50 years of age. I probably only got like 2 more years of seeing him even try to compete on the PJ level. Then he'll probably go to the Champions Tour and dominate there. Or could have said, I'm too good for these old guys and just call it quits and focus on his TGL, which has actually been pretty good. I know you ain't watched it, but it's the virtual
What are you talking about? Yeah,
golf.
I did. The golf league.
Yeah, it's kind of dope. It grew on me a bit. At first, I'm like, this is cheesy indoor golf, man. But then the green moves and all that stuff.
What?
It's been awesome. Yeah, so you hit into the screen, and obviously, say it's a par 4. You get on your second shot, and then there's a green that they walk to. The ground moves to adjust to what it is on the screen. This is real life golden tee, where you actually swinging your clubs. But no, man, this is Scotty, do something, please. We already got your food menu. It's really American, so go ahead and win it again for the Americans.
I'm very sorry for your loss.
Are you?
I also appreciated in Get Off My Lawn at 10:45 when you basically told Tiger, suck it up.
Suck it up, man. Or stop doing too much, man. You think,
Right, that's what
stop
you told
thinking
him.
about
You said,
yourself.
What you're telling Tiger is, I need you to not push yourself and just kind of show up at the Masters so that I can watch.
Just show up. You can show up with a beer gut and
John Daly.
don't matter. I just want to see you play a few more times before it's all said and done.
Someone said, y'all are messed up reminding Bump that his hero's not playing this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jacked up.
It's like telling Stacy, it's like telling Matt Stanley is dead every day, or some random Real Housewife for Stacy. First of all,
not the same.
First of all.
Not the same.
And secondly, you guys are misunderstanding the point of Real Housewives. If you were to
What's
tell
the
me
point?
drama, if you were to tell me this Real Housewife is going to jail, you think I'm sad about that? Like, I feel bad for her, but I'm like, well, tell me more.
Doing research and
What's
stuff.
happening? Do you know how many Real Housewives are currently in jail?
4.
At least 2.
The one from Jersey went for a little bit, right? That's the
She
only
went
one I
for
know
a
of.
year. Yeah, so there used to be 3 in jail. She went for a year, and it's all like white-collar crime, tax evasion, scams, things like that. Another one from Salt Lake City's in jail, and currently one from Potomac is going to be in jail.
You know what I appreciate about the one from Jersey? She went to jail, and like my uncles who have gone to jail,
Yeah.
she came back fitter. She came back like, hey, I was on that prison mill
Yes.
doing my push-ups. I was like, dang, girl, I see you.
Her first storyline outside of prison, getting out the pen, was that she was like a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
And that was her story. Not a bodybuilder, but she was like a fitness model.
Yeah, she looked good.
Yeah, Teresa. She's crazy,
It's
though.
prison mills and push-ups and pull-ups.
You know what?
Get
I'm letting you guys know. I'll stop now, but I'm just letting you know. These things are not the same. Taking a look around the NFL next. Speaking of, I mentioned earlier the Detroit Lions proposed a significant change to NFL playoff seeding. Seahawks fans are going to maybe take issue with this one. That's next.
Seattle Sports, your home for Brock and Salk. Weekdays 6 to 10.
Brock, you got to help me. What is the deal with the offensive line? It has to get fixed. It has to be better, especially for the type of team they say they want to build. We know anyway that the bargain route just has not worked. So what are they doing?
That supply chain is bone dry.
And yet, other teams seem to find them.
Not many, so.
You have to be one of them. It has nothing to do with being easy or not.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Can you take the power of your home internet almost anywhere? Well, with Xfinity, you can. Do more of what you love in the places you go the most with internet and mobile together. Xfinity built a network that's 99.99% reliable. Plus, Xfinity Mobile has Wi-Fi Power Boost, giving you ultra-fast Wi-Fi at home and on the go. Get the same reliable network in the places you need the most. The coffee shop, the grocery store, or the game. All to power more of what you love, whether you're a gamer, streaming, or work from home. Whatever you're into, you'll love how fast you can do it with Xfinity Internet and Mobile. And now through April 21st, get 300 megabit Xfinity Internet and one unlimited mobile line together for $25 a month for 1 year with no annual contract. And save $1,000 in your first year over Verizon and AT&T. Plus, ask how to get a free premium 5G phone. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra after promo. Regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary. Savings compared to Verizon 5G, Internet plus one unlimited welcome line, and AT&T Internet 300 plus one unlimited starter SL line. Xfinity Internet required. Reduced speeds after 30 gigabits of usage per line. Data thresholds and actual savings vary.
You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Superior Linen Service will help your company with logoed apparel, uniforms, floor mats, linen, and more. Give us a call. We answer the phone. Superior Linen Service. It's what we do. Visit suplinen.com.
T-Mobile home internet is all about speed, value.
What you doing, Zach?
First thing, there are so many benefits. You got to talk fast.
T-Mobile home internet ranks #1 in customer satisfaction for home wireless internet by J.D. Power.
Wow, you are good.
Try singing it. T-Mobile has price lock.
They won't raise your rate on internet.
Hulu and Paramount Plus on them.
Get T-Mobile home internet all in for just $55 a month with auto pay and any postpaid voice line. Additional terms apply. For J.D. Power 2024 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Jackson Hewitt wants you to save money on tax prep. We're saving money by having our intern rap in this commercial.
Don't stress, Jackson Hewitt's got expert tax prep, $149 or less. Yo, some tax guys lie about price. What? They got hidden fees, that ain't nice. Ain't nice. Don't ignore MC Kevin's rhyme, cause this deal's for a limited time. $149.
For tax prep that's $149 or less, hurry into Jackson Hewitt today.
No cap.
Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Welcome to Staples.
I hear Staples prints it all for any business?
You bet. And we'll beat any print quote.
So if I had a pizza place...
Staples can print signs, menus, pizza boxes.
A landscaping business?
Oh, we can print yard signs, t-shirts, brochures.
How about a pizza/landscaping business? I'll call it Dough and Mo.
I like it.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5, exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details. Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
We are Seattle Sports. 7:10 a.m. on your radio. Streaming through the Seattle Sports app. Get new videos, podcasts, and articles on the Seahawks and Mariners from your favorite Seattle sports personalities daily. 4 down territory, going inside the game with Michael Bumpus.
I like this. More quarterbacks should start doing this.
Every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bump and Stacy.
Every window tells a story, whether it's watching your kids play outside or enjoying a beautiful sunset. This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Our replacement windows are designed to frame those moments. Brighten your home with our exclusive offer. Buy 3 windows and get 1 free. Call today to take advantage of this limited deal. 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule a free estimate. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
You're free now. Free to stream beyond your wildest dreams.
Rom-coms, slasher-coms, space operas.
Free to fill your feed with impossibly chonky chonkers.
Cats, corgis, babies on demand.
Free to make your smart devices do silly things.
Bowl of chips on the Robo-Vacuum.
Free to open a world of remote work and Gametopia.
Who's the boss now?
Free to be everything you imagine. That's how it feels to have Quantum Fiber Internet. Your world unleashed. Learn more at quantumfiber.com.
Limited availability, service in select locations only.
Hey guys, did you know that half of men over age 50 have erectile dysfunction on some level? Whether you have mild, moderate, or severe ED, West Coast Men's Health can help. We don't prescribe pills and hope they work. Instead, we treat the root cause of the problem with acoustic wave therapy, which breaks down plaque, unclogs arteries, and restores blood flow. We have treated thousands of men across our 11 locations nationwide and have established ourselves as a leader in the industry. So whether you have ED, Peyronie's disease, or suffer from chronic pain, such as neuropathy, carpal tunnel, or Dupuytren's contracture, West Coast Men's Health can help. No pills, no shots, no surgery, just results.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call West Coast Men's Health at 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Taking a look around the NFL, we are going to start with a little bit of an update from a story of yesterday. The Vikings released Monday. Garrett Bradbury, we all wondered whether or not he'd sign with the Seahawks. The Patriots signed him to a 2-year contract. Worth up to $12 million. So the numbers are the update we have from yesterday. $12 million deal that includes $3.8 guaranteed. Over a 2-year deal, that's not crazy money. I mean, this could have been a very affordable center you got, but you missed out. Instead, the Vikings swoop in. Or excuse me, the Patriots swoop in.
I'm not too mad at it. Look, I hope that the Seahawks were doing their research and contemplating this, but I also hope that they looked at Oluwatimi and said, this is our guy. We believe in him. This new staff has watched the film. We think we can help develop this young man. So there's no need to go ahead and get this center. Then he goes over to New England, where you know they need some help on that offensive line. Drake May is going to be okay in this league. And I feel like every time I say his name, I need to apologize because I thought he wasn't going to do nothing in this league, and I was wrong. But what do? You go get yourself your young quarterback, a veteran receiver who's been around the block a couple times. Happy for Drake May. And I'm okay if the Hawks do not touch the center spot as far as getting a guy who can be a starter.
Let's go to, I'm going to skip to this story here before I get to the new Netflix series. The Detroit Lions have proposed a significant rule change to NFL playoff seeding. It will largely use the regular season records as a guiding principle rather than division championships. So, under the new proposal that the Lions want, the division winner with the best conference's record will still receive the number 1 overall seed. So, if you're the Eagles and you have 15 wins and you're number 1 in the NFC, you still get the number 1 overall seed. Standard. But after that, teams would be stacked by records regardless of whether or not they won their divisions or received a wild card berth. So under this rule, the Minnesota Vikings, for instance, would have hosted the Rams even though the Rams won the NFC West. And I know Seahawks fans are thinking back to some Seahawks.
7-9.
Yep. Seahawks team that did host a playoff game, got one of the best Seahawks moments ever. You don't have that anymore under this rule.
Let's be real. This is the way it should be. It is. Best records. Okay, you won your division, but what is your record? And then let's do it like that. I think the NBA does it this way anyway. This is the way it should be. As much as the Hawks have benefited over the years from this deal, especially that 7-9 versus an 11 and something Saints team, and then you have one of the greatest moments in Seahawks history. I think that's the emotional attachment behind it. But if we're talking pure sports and pure rankings, it has to go by record. I think this should go down.
Yeah, because I think if you strip away your memory as a Seahawks fan of the Beastquake, or if you strip away at all like the names attached to the teams, Is it fair for a 14-win team who is unfortunate enough to be in a division with a 15-win team to be on the road against a 9 or 10-win team? No, you'd never think that was fair.
You've earned it.
And imagine if it was the NFC West and it was a 14-win Seahawks team, which would be the best record they've had since I don't know when. And they're on the road, against a horrible NFC South team, like a bad Panthers team. Like, imagine that. You'd be so annoyed. You'd be so bothered.
For all my parents who have kids in athletics, you go to these tournaments, all right, you win your pool, all right, and then you're seeded by your record and then your points for, points against. You're just seeding basically off of your performance, not off of the community that you're in. This should be the way to do it. Easy fix, but something tells me it's not going to happen anytime soon.
Netflix had some fun announcing the second season of Quarterback by releasing a trailer that first promoted a new series, Mascot.
Does it get heated? Yeah, it's a high-pressure situation.
Seriously? Mascots?
Is this actually the plan?
You know they don't even talk, right?
We were only gone for one season.
You're not really doing that. Ridiculous.
Can I make another suggestion? Why don't we just do another season of Quarterback?
I'm in if you're in. I'm in. Did you really think Quarterback was going anywhere?
If you couldn't recognize the voices, it's the return of Kirk Cousins, also adding Joe Burrow and Jared Goff.
I would have watched The Mascot for at least an hour. One episode. I would have watched.
The fake trailer looked pretty good.
It looked pretty good. But yeah, Quarterbacks. This is one of the best series that I've seen. Even White House was cool, but there's nothing like getting into the mind of a quarterback, the guy who has to be the most responsible and diligent person on your football team. If he does not perform well, you're not going to perform well. I got to know Kirk Cousins, really started to like him. Mariota, got to know him. He's a good dude. Pat Mahomes, it makes him a person, and you realize all the craziness that he deals with. I like this, man. The fact that these guys let us in on their season is crucial because they got a lot of stuff they deal with, and to have a camera following you around is even more.
Now, we already know, following the same, premise as the first edition of Quarterback, that this will have filmed the previous season. So we get to see the 2024 season from the lens of Joe Burrow, Jared Goff, and Kirk Cousins. Knowing that, different from season 1, for instance, is that Patrick Mahomes, who ended up winning a Super Bowl, was one of the quarterbacks, so we saw someone's journey all the way through. We're not going to see that with these guys. Spoiler alert, none of these guys end up winning the Super Bowl. There are lots of fascinating moments from their seasons, though. What's something for any of these guys? It doesn't have to be for all three, but what's one thing that, because you know it happened in 2024, you can't wait to see?
Kirk Cousins being benched.
Ooh, I know.
Him struggling, him starting off hot, swag surfing, beanies, chains on.
Yeah.
He's an AT alien. And then Mike Penix does his thing, and the writing's on the wall, and we know that it's probably a wrap for Kirk Cousins.
I want to see Jared Goff's 5 interception and then 5 touchdown game.
That's a good one.
5 interception game being a loss, 5 touchdown game, or excuse me,
they won.
Win, and 5 touchdown game being a loss.
Yeah.
That would be really interesting. And with Joe Burrow, God, that was it the second matchup against the Ravens? He ended up being like the first quarterback to throw 300+ yards, 3 touchdowns.
I want to see the whole journey for Joe Burrow, like to keep that dog mentality and to be 6 games out and have to win 6, 7 in a row and actually do that. I want to see what the prep was like and what his approach to that whole situation was.
Also, just behind the scenes with the Lions in general, the team that went furthest out of these teams will be a very interesting watch. Moving on. Mecole Hardman, a veteran wide receiver and return specialist, is signing with the Packers to a 1-year deal. This from ESPN's Jeremy Fowler. The 27-year-old has spent most of his 6 NFL seasons with the Chiefs after being drafted by the team in the second round in 2019.
This is their MVS signing here.
Yeah.
You need someone fast to stretch the field. Not going to expect too much out of him, but he's definitely going to contribute and help get other guys open. It's a good move.
This morning on ESPN's First Take, Stephen A. Smith called out Jerry Jones for being cheap.
We always have to go the route of cheap when we're talking about Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys because right now they're ranked 29th in the NFL this offseason in free agent spending. Only the Eagles, the Bengals, and the Ravens have spent less than Philly and Baltimore. Don't need to because they're Super Bowl contenders. So that's really the situation right there when you take into account what they did last year in terms of not going after Derrick Henry, waiting and procrastinating before they paid Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb and putting themselves in position, and how Jerry Jones is notoriously a cheap spender in free agency. Those are all things that you have to take into consideration So it's not to say that it was a bad move, but I'm just saying the word cheap in free agency is synonymous with Jerry Jones at this point.
Agree?
Agree. Last year they spent $18.8 million in free agency. That was the least. I mean, you're talking about you want to be contenders. You're already overpaying your quarterback. You're paying a receiver a lot of money. You're going to have to pay one of the best defensive players in the game, and Michael Parsons money. Go get it. Mm-hmm. And as of March 5th, they were the least. Well, I guess Stephen A. has updated numbers, but at March 5th, they spent $20.4 million. What are you doing? You're saying you want to win ball games. You're starting to sound like a familiar franchise that I know. Yeah. You do just enough to make sure people are going to show up because you know your fans are loyal, and you just lied to them, man. Something ain't right in Dallas.
Let's see. Going back to the Lions rule proposal that the outside of the number one seed, that the best record get home field advantage as opposed to division winners. The 253 says, but what if you won the toughest division, but then you have to go play somewhere where the schedule gave them like two horrible divisions as opponents, so they ran the record up. What I will say, and maybe you can disagree with me, I was trying to think, like, when was a time when a team had like not a ton of wins because they were just constantly beating each other up? And in the best season I can think of from the NFC West, it was still 13 or 12 from San Francisco and like 11 wins for the Cardinals. Like, they still rack up the wins because they beat up teams outside the division.
There's still going to be exceptions to every situation.
Yeah.
Right? The Hawks get in at 7-9 is nuts. It's not going to happen too often, but it has the possibility to happen, and then having the Saints come over. And the same could be with a team who wins the toughest division and has to. It's never going to be perfect, and we've done it one way for so long. I think that I wouldn't be opposed to switching it up a little bit because when it comes down to it, it's impossible for every team to play everybody. Yes. You're not going to play 31 games in a season. So you just take it for what it is, give it a go, and if it doesn't work, you can always go back.
I just truly could also not think of a time, and someone can feel free to correct me. I truly could not, for the life of me, think of a time when a 9-win team had 9 wins because they played in the toughest division. Like, at 9 wins, if you're the division winner, you've got basically all the other teams are probably under 500. And it's just not, there's no way.
Yeah, I mean, NFC North, last year, toughest division, you had 3 teams with double-digit wins over there. Like, I get your angle, but I think that it's not as big of a concern as you might think.
Yeah. All right. We are moving on to a lot of Mariners talk here. Coming up at 1, Greg Amsinger saying the praises of several prominent Mariners. Curious to hear some of his takes on those players. Before we get to it, he's got a take on the team as a whole, why a fast start is so important for Seattle. That's next.
For Down Territory, going inside the game with former Cougs and Seahawks wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
What's the film study shown you on Marquez Valdez-Scantling?
I like it. He's a player that runs his routes with effort. There are some guys who just look really smooth when they do their thing. Mm-hmm. He's an effort type of guy. I think he understands how to attack leverage. He's a willing blocker, and that's something you have to do in this Kubiak offense. And even in that Kubiak offense, the effort is always there.
For Down Territory, every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bump and Stacy.
Jake was suffering from osteoarthritis when his doctors asked him to consider surgery.
However, there's a 9-month recovery period where essentially you're not walking and you're not putting much in the way of weight on.
That wasn't going to work for him, so he decided to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
I heard the ads, and that caused me to do due diligence.
And how are you doing now?
There's not really any pain now at all. I have no limitations in what I want to do.
Wow, so you're able to do anything you want to do?
I recently played golf at Cycle House down in Pebble Beach, walked 18 holes, which I hadn't been able to do for a number of years, and then went for about a 2-mile walk with my friend.
I take it you'd recommend stem cell therapy to others then?
Absolutely. Had I known then what I know now, I would have done this several years ago and saved myself a lot of pain and suffering and agony and limitation to activity.
Before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. The best place to watch all your favorite sports. Featuring wall-to-wall viewing screens, 6 windows, and 30 kiosks. Be there at emeraldqueen.com. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
For over 113 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington, from the Space Needle in Seattle all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist with any lighting issue, including intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting experts since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
Spring forward with real unlimited data from Straight Talk this tax season and get a free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G or Moto G Power 5G 2024 with select plans. So you can stream games during Mad March hours, check the weather for April showers, and watch gardening videos about May flowers. Straight Talk, real unlimited data, available at Walmart and straighttalk.com. Offer valid through 4/15/25. Taxes and fees apply. Requires purchase of single line Gold Unlimited plan or higher. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your RV wins.
What, are you going to take the RV to the mountains or go pick up your dry cleaning? RV wins! Are we cleaning the gutters or taking the RV camping? RV wins! Are we getting a new passport or cruising up the coast? RV wins!
Don't forget, you got that trip to Sweden coming up.
Oh, yeah, passport, then RV.
With Progressive, you can bundle your RV with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings in your RV. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states and situations. I started Davis Law Group in 1994 to fight for the underdog. And as our team has grown, we've stayed true to that mission. Today, Davis Law Group is known for providing excellent service and even better results. Visit WashingtonAccidentBooks.com to get your free book on car accident law.
Opening day is just days away, and we want to send you and a friend to experience it like never before. Get front row access to the opening ceremonies, player introductions, the first pitch, and more, all from the field. To enter, just open the Seattle Sports app and hit the Win tab for all the details. You can enter once per day, so the more you enter, the better your chances. This contest runs through March 21st. Seattle Sports, home of the Mariners, and your home for opening day.
Play ball! The John Schneider Show.
Every Thursday until draft day on Wyman and Bob.
Listen live Thursdays at 4 p.m. or watch the interviews on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Asset Roofing was founded with the aim of shielding the community from liabilities that may arise from hiring a contractor. Bob Stelton here, and I love their slogan. You're either hiring an asset or you're hiring a liability. Now, I've been there, and you probably have too. Hiring a contractor that showed up late, delivered shoddy work, or went over budget. Asset Roofing is the opposite of a bad contractor. Their business model is to deliver honest and transparent solutions, becoming a valuable asset for both clients and their communities. Now, I experienced it firsthand when I met Anthony, the owner, and then again when I had him do work on my roof. Now, these guys are the best in the business, and I highly recommend Asset Roofing to local homeowners. Now, this spring, replace your aging roof with Asset Roofing. Ask them about their specialty, metal roofs. You're either hiring a liability or you're hiring an asset. Check them out at AssetRoofingCo.com. That's AssetRoofingCo.com.
Certified work that's never in doubt. Asset Roofing, excellence is on the house.
We've all been there. Sleepless nights, mind racing, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Video security, burglar alarms, fire alarms, access control, 24/7 monitoring, and more. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy, knowing we're here for you, your people, and your business. Visit bayalarm.com to talk to a local security expert. Bay Alarm, we got you.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Some really good stuff from Greg Amsinger, who was on with Wyman and Bob yesterday. I've saved a couple for 1 p.m. He talks about specific Mariners. I thought it would be a good kind of season preview as we inch closer to opening day already a week from tomorrow. Before we get to that, though, let's talk about the importance of a fast start.
There are certain teams that I believe could lose a postseason spot in the month of April and half of May. One of those two teams, the Cleveland Guardians. The Seattle Mariners are the other team. The starting rotation has to be so good that it gets Jerry to go to ownership and say, guys, I told you I wasn't going to spend any money in free agency. You didn't want me to do that. But let me get back to doing what I do. I know how to make trades. Let me go do this. Let me go get the bats we need. I can't see Jerry Dipoto and A.J. Preller sitting on their hands much longer.
That's Greg Amsinger saying there are two teams that I think can actually lose the playoffs in April. One of them is the Guardians. The other is the Mariners.
Yeah, because you don't have the firepower to make up a big gap, right? You're running the 200. I used to hate the 200. I was only a 100 type of guy and wasn't even fast at that. But the 200, it's a different type of beast, right? You run your race until, well, at least in my perspective, because I never won, right? You run your race until you're about 8 to 10 meters behind, and you're like, my race is not working. My race ain't working. Now I have to pump hard. I'm pumping, but I'm already out of my stance. I'm already out of my race. I'm already out of my groove, and I'll never be able to catch that person that's in front of me. That's what he's talking about. Yeah, you want to run your race. Your race is going to be rely on the pitching, play good defense, stay in the games, and let's get some improvement for the guys who are already here. And that's a race that I could win. Every now and then I'd win a race or two, but I was like in the heats, not in the finals, right? In the early heats, okay, you might be able to get away with that. You get into those final heats, the finals, you're going up against the big dogs, and they're running their race, and they're just more powerful. And they get out the blocks faster, and their form is incredible. And they've done hang cleans and power cleans. The glutes are popping. Everything is just better, and you're trying your best to switch your race up, and you just can't catch them. Yeah. That's what he's talking about here. And it's unfortunate that he's talking about the Mariners.
The Guardians are a fair comparison, not directly, one-to-one comparison with the Mariners, but in terms of how easy it could be to lose that spot and how consistent they have to be to get to the playoffs. We had Jason Churchill on a while ago, and we asked him, hey, what's going to be one of the most important things? And he said consistency with your offense, because when you look at the stats at the end of the season, when you look at, it could be individual players. Look at Julio's stats at the end of the season. You're thinking he had a solid year. If you're looking at, let's say, team OPS or overall hits or whatever, for the Mariners and Guardians, you're seeing a Guardians team that is not one of the better offenses in baseball. That was certainly an outlier in the playoffs. However, the difference in total wins, of which there was a difference in total wins, it sent the Guardians to the playoffs and kept the Mariners out, was by virtue of the Guardians having solid offense more consistently. Like, they were never exceptional, but they didn't get themselves into a hole. They didn't give up monumental leads the way that the Mariners did, giving up that 10-game lead in the division. And so even though the numbers look kind of the same at the end of the year, they actually took two very different journeys. And if there's a lesson to be learned for the Mariners, it is that. You don't have to be the best offense in baseball to make the postseason. You cannot have stretches of nothing. You cannot waste good starts. You cannot waste good starts in a season in which you may lose a starter. Knock on wood, I'm doing it right now, but you are by no means guaranteed the same weapons you had last year.
You're asking a amount of consistency that is tough for the best teams to do. The best teams have their dips, but their dips aren't as great. And there's enough depth to where if one or two or three players are struggling, we have enough here to kind of make up for it. We have a complete team. We have enough pitching to make up for it. We have enough guys at the bottom of the order who can make up for it if there is a dip or that an inevitable dip. It's like, man, I play golf. Man, I know. I play against my buddy who's a 2 handicap. That means he has to give me 7 strokes. I know that if I start off bad and he jumps out in front of me for 3 or 4, I go bogey, bogey, bogey. He goes par, par, birdie. I go, it's going to be a long day. I don't think I have the consistency in my game to keep up with him, let alone close the gap on him. That's what you're asking these guys to do. It's like you're asking them to play with wooden drivers and fairways and stuff. And the other teams have the best technology in the game. It's just not fair to ask them to do that. Every now and then, though, I can fall behind and I get hot and I catch them. And I know it's going to be tight at the end of the round, but that's not something that I can depend on. Mm-hmm. So that's not something that they should be able to depend on. The gift and the curse will be they come out hot and they look good, and the owners are sitting back and saying, "Yeah, we did it. We told Jerry you can only spend this amount of money. He did that. Got a team together, and then the season goes on, and you know what happens. Guys have their dips, and now your dip is lower than their dip, and now you're behind. We saw it. You got a 10-game lead last year. I went through every single game, and I watched the records yesterday and just watch it expand, dwindle, expand a bit, then dwindle, then dwindle, then dwindle, and gone.
That pain?
I needed to revisit it because I'm trying to be optimistic about the season, but I also need to be reminded about what has happened in the past. And so it allows me to kind of stay true to myself and be in the moment at the same time and understand what they're asking this ball club to do to be in the hunt when it's late. So it's tough, man. It's my golf game against a scratch golfer.
It is. I mean, again, like I mean, we've had so many guests on recently say the exact same thing. I know we're going to jump into more sound from Greg because he does have some really fascinating things to say about a few players on this team. And I want the lead up to opening day to be one where we can get excited.
I'm not excited regardless.
I'm not telling you to have blind faith and hope that the Mariners are going to go win a World Series. What I'm saying is I'm curious to see what happens here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very curious, and I'm grateful to have baseball back. So those are the two things I know to be true about myself heading into March 27th when we're going to actually watch this team play a game that matters. The one thing that will change about how I watch this season is how critical I am early. And I will completely push back on anyone who texts in telling me it's baseball, don't be critical early. I don't care.
We've done that 3 times already, Taylor.
Yeah.
Forget that.
Yeah. No, it's time to kind of pedal to the metal. Don't fall behind. Every series matters. Yeah, you'll talk. Salk made a good point this morning, being like, I'm not saying a series in April doesn't matter as much as a series in September. I'm saying the team you see in April is rarely the team you'll see in September, which is a very fair point. So you context with how you apply your criticism. But let's see what Greg has to say about some key Mariners. Very curious as to what he thinks is in store for Julio in 2025. That's next.
We are the home of the Mariners.
Big news, by God. We're excited to announce a multi-year partnership extension between the Seattle Mariners and Seattle Sports / Bonneville Seattle. So all Mariner games will continue to be heard on our platforms, including 7:10 a.m. The legend that is Rick Riz.
We couldn't be happier on behalf of the Seattle Mariners. We love the fact that we're going to be back on 710 Seattle Sports. Thank you so much. We're thrilled.
On Seattle Sports
and the Seattle Sports app.
The brackets are now open. Compete in the Seattle Sports Bracket Bucks presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Head to seattlesports.com/win to pre-register. Receive your bracket and compete for your shot at great prizes. The grand prize winner from the 64-team bracket will win $1,000 in Visa gift cards. But if your bracket is busted in the first round, we have other ways for you to play too. Register and find complete rules at seattlesports.com/win.
Window Nation customers have been singing our praises for years. With fast, local service and an industry-leading 96% customer satisfaction rating, it's no wonder.
I researched window companies for the last year to see what the average prices were and the quality of work. Window Nation nailed both.
Get 2 windows free with every 2 you buy. Pay no interest for 2 full years. Hurry, this offer ends soon. Schedule a free estimate now. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. That's 866-90-NATION.
John here with Happy Hauler. We want to help get your unwanted items to those in need. Furniture and household items you plan on throwing away? We'll take them and prioritize donating and recycling, keeping items out of the landfill, and giving useful items a second happy home. Happy Hauler is Seattle's eco-friendly junk removal. We work with over 20 nonprofits all over Western Washington to donate used items. Make yourself, your community, and the planet happy. Reclaim your space. HappyHauler.com, hauling with a heart.
Can you take the power of your home internet almost anywhere? Well, with Xfinity, you can. Do more of what you love in the places you go the most with internet and mobile together. Xfinity built a network that's 99.99% reliable. Plus, Xfinity Mobile has Wi-Fi Power Boost, giving you ultra-fast Wi-Fi at home and on the go. Get the same reliable network in the places you need the most. The coffee shop, the grocery store, or the game. All to power more of what you love, whether you're a gamer, streaming, or work from home. Whatever you're into, you'll love how fast you can do it with Xfinity Internet and Mobile. And now through April 21st, get 300 megabit Xfinity Internet and 1 unlimited mobile line together for $25 a month for 1 year with no annual contract. And save $1,000 in your first year over Verizon and AT&T. Plus, ask how to get a free premium 5G phone. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with store bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra after promo. Regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary. Savings compared to Verizon 5G, Internet plus 1 unlimited welcome line, and AT&T Internet 300 plus 1 unlimited starter SL line. Xfinity Internet required. Reduced speeds after 30 gigabits of usage per line. Data thresholds and actual savings vary.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
The nonprofit Puget Sound Senior Baseball League plays real baseball on the best fields. Final tryouts for adults ages 18 to 65 and older are this Sunday, March 23rd at Interlake High School in Bellevue. With 10 divisions featuring different age and skill levels, there's room for almost every ball player, from ex-Little Leaguers to high school and even former college and pros. Get all the info at pssbl.com. That's pssbl.com.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home and make price-boosting upgrades with no cost until close. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
Riverside Roofing is offering $1,000 off a new roof replacement. Book a free estimate online, and when you meet with Brandon, that's Don's son, tell him you heard the message on the radio station. Go to riversideroofingllc.com. It's Riverside Roofing, the roofing company you can trust.
This is the story of the one. He's responsible for keeping a leading healthcare facility clean and safe. And he trusts Grainger's high-quality HVAC cleaning and safety products, combined with their world-class supply chain, to consistently deliver, ensuring he's covered inside and out, so he can focus on keeping his facility clean to help protect the health of everyone inside. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Deebo Samuel gets more guaranteed money with his new team per ESPN's Adam Schefter. The Commanders are guaranteeing $17 million of Samuel's previously non-guaranteed salary for this season and have added another $3 million in incentives. Another name off the board in free agency, Jeremy Fowler reporting offensive tackle Cam Robinson will sign with the Texans. Meanwhile, receiver Mecole Hardman is signing with the Packers, and former Vikings center Garrett Bradbury is signing with the Patriots.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Before I keep it moving to the latest from Greg Amsinger, really interesting things to say about a few key Mariners this year on with Wyman and Bob yesterday. I have a question for you about what you would do in this scenario.
Okay.
So my friend was telling me this yesterday, and she's currently navigating this. This sounds like a really mundane issue, but I got so heated on her behalf.
All right.
I got angry.
Okay.
So here's what happened. She bought a very, very, very expensive couch.
Mm-hmm.
Thousands of dollars.
Thousands.
For a new apartment. And it's from an upscale, like a high-end furniture store. I'm not going to say the name because I'm not going to put them on blast, but from a high-end furniture store that has multiple locations. So they went to Bellevue and got this one. And they go to a new location and they say, hey, we don't actually like this couch. Like, it just doesn't look right in the space now that we have it in there. We want to, probably get a different one from you guys. Like, money isn't the issue, but we don't want this couch. And they're like, yeah, no problem. Where'd you get it from? And they said, oh, we got it from Bellevue. And then they go, oh, no.
Oh.
Like, basically, good luck returning that.
Dang.
They just bought this couch. They have had it for 7 days. What do you mean I can't return the couch? So then she calls this store. And this woman answers the phone, and she goes, hey, I'd actually like to coordinate, a return. It's just not the one for us, unfortunately. Can I please, do that? And the woman immediately gets defensive, immediately really angry. She goes, well, the manager's not here today. So then my friend goes, okay, well, can I leave my number? Do you know when he'll be in? She goes, I don't know when he'll be in, and I can't guarantee that he'll call you back.
Dang.
Thousands of dollars. I need you to imagine thousands. I'm not talking 2, 3. I'm talking thousands on a couch, and this is a store where you go like, what? What do you mean? What are you talking about? So here's what I said. A, should she go full Karen, call the manager, make a whole complaint? This woman hung up on her, by the way.
Oh, yeah, full Karen.
Yeah, full Karen. Or B, do they show up with the couch?
Full Karen first.
Okay.
Give them a day or two. Show you're crazy via email and voicemail.
Right? Multiple. Attack them from multiple angles.
And then if you don't get what you want, you show with that thing, with the receipt. Make sure it's, good condition.
Yes.
Even wrap it back up.
Yeah.
Make it look nice. And then say, I brought your couch back.
I'm showing up and I am leaving this couch outside the store. Someone said, I bet it's Ashley Furniture. No. This is a place where I would be appalled. Like I'm shocked at the customer service experience. And I'm like, what do you do if you buy something very expensive from a store and they truly don't even let you return it?
Was there a return policy?
Yes. No, it's covered. It's totally fine.
Yeah.
They're just being really difficult. Like, what do you do? What do you even do?
Show up with the couch.
I would show up with the couch.
First, you do your Karen. You call them, voicemail, email, boom, now I'm showing up. I will be there tomorrow at 2:30.
I am backing a truck that I don't even have into that store. And I want to find the girl that I was on the phone with that hung up with me, too. I want to be like, is the manager in today? I got a delivery I need to make.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll tell her that.
Yeah.
I'll let her know that's the approach she needs to take.
Yeah.
I know that's such like a ridiculous story, but I had never heard of a store like ducking and dodging, like you're a bill collector and they're trying to be like, you don't need to return this couch to us. Like, what?
They're in the red.
Crazy.
That's why business ain't popping.
Let me tell you what, someone has scared them out of accepting returns because it is impossible for her to return this couch, and she needed advice. So I'm going to tell her to do exactly what you did.
253. Call Jesse. Jesse. Handle it, Jesse. I'm sure he's got bigger and better things to worry about.
He's got bigger fish to fry.
Maybe if it gets to that.
I just think it's wild that you would have a place that was that expensive that then refused to take a return.
Yeah.
That's insane. You're making me, now I'm holding this couch hostage. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. Let's get to more important actual sports news here. Greg Amsinger on Wyman and Bob yesterday. You guys aren't going to like this one. I will promise I'll get to really positive cuts, but he thinks the Mariners are going to finish last in the AL West.
I have to mix it up, number one. I can't just be in love with the starting pitching. Look, I am a sucker for low-scoring games. So I like pitching duels. And the Mariners are going to give me the baseball that I want to watch. 2-1, 1-0, best starting staff. Oh, my goodness. I'm blown away that a team that has such a wealth of talent in the rotation would not capitalize and look at this as the moment to strike because your pitching is so good. And they kind of sat pat. It's Donovan Solano's the best. He's having a nice spring, but that's the guy. I was just disappointed. I'm mixing it up for the fans of Seattle, guys. Mixing it up. I'm going to say they're going to finish in last place. I will fall on this sword for all of you Mariner fans.
Again, I'm convinced this is just Greg's just, like you said, he's mixing it up. There's no way that you can seriously predict the Mariners will finish in last place in the AL West, barring everyone getting hurt.
No, I don't think that's you're obviously competing for the one spot, but 2 is more likely and 3 is less likely. But bottom, no, you don't see that happening because of the way they'll be able to control the game with the guys on the mound. The thing that you can almost count on every single game is that you're probably going to get a quality start. Probably only going to give up 1 or 2 runs for the most part. Obviously, there are big games where things get out of hand. You get blown up. Guys have their bad days. But no, teams that can play great defense, you hang around for a little bit. So, no, there's no way I see them finishing last in this division.
I appreciate the creativity, You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The artistic direction that he decided to go in with the take. Like, I can respect it. Let's get to some of his takes on players. Here's Greg on Cal Raleigh.
Offensively, it's become a thing, and we're talking about it constantly. And when the national media is talking about it and the regional media is talking about it, and that's in their face every time a game ends, they lose again 2-1, and we're talking to, Logan Gilbert, you're just not getting any run support. When that question keeps coming up, it just compounds quickly. And look, there's a lot of pressure on a few guys. Cal Raleigh's got a lot on his back, man. I think he's the most valuable player in the game because of what he has to do to lead his staff, platinum glove winner, control the running game. The pitchers love throwing to him. He has been terrific with all the relievers. Oh, and he has to lead the team in homers and RBIs. That's way too much to put on a catcher.
It is a lot to put on a catcher. I mean, thankfully, Cal's delivered with some clutch moments, with bombs.
With some bombs.
But he's not wrong.
Man, it's so hard to play the catcher position. How many times have we seen Cal Raleigh take one off the thigh, wince for about 30 seconds, and say, okay, I'm back in the game. And then 3 batters later, he's up at the plate hitting a bomb or something. It eventually is going to take a toll on his body, and it does. I can imagine at the end of the year, he's all beat up. So to ask him to repeat what he did last year, I wouldn't say it's impossible, but it's not something that you want to hang your hat on. You need contributions, and that's why it's important that Mitch is healthy and he's able to give him those days off, because Cal deserves it, and he needs it. He is the captain out there. He understands everyone in the rotation, even guys in the bullpen. He helps call great games. When he's out there, you feel his presence.
Let's get to what he has to say about Julio. I thought it was interesting to which he attributes Julio's struggles.
Julio Rodriguez has to go back to being a superstar. And that's a tall order, man. Still a young player. He's still trying to get comfortable with having tons of money. That is a real thing players have to adjust to, because everyone's calling you now. A lot of people called you when you broke into the big leagues, not people you've never met are somehow getting your phone number when you're wealthy like he is. So he's dealing with all the human aspects of being a superstar, but he's got to play like one again.
Now, fundamentally true. He needs to play like a superstar again. You're getting paid like a superstar. You're being looked to as a superstar. And you have it in you, so the expectation is fair that you deliver more often. How much of what Julio struggles with do you think is mental?
I think baseball at that level is more mental than anything. I mean, these guys, there are certain guys that get called up, right, for the minors, and they're there for a week or so because a couple guys got hurt. And they're in the minors for a reason, because mentally they're just not ready to go, and then obviously the talent. But the mental game for a guy like Julio is like 70% of that thing. We can tell when he's trying to swing for the fences and hit one out the park. We can tell when he's balanced and he's in a good place. I'm big on body language or whatnot. There was a time where it felt like Julio was having no fun out there. And we don't know for sure what contributes to that body language, but I guarantee you it could be a relationship with your lady. It could be mom or dad, cousins. You're stressed out because family back home needs you. There are a lot of factors that go into it. The worst football game I've ever played in my life was because of outside stuff. It wasn't because I wasn't prepared, I wasn't in shape. It was because I'm dealing with all this stuff outside, and I let it creep onto the football field. I don't know this for sure, but it's likely that there were times this year where he just felt pressure or stress from everything else that's going on. And coming from where he comes from and not having a lot of money, and then you get a lot at one time, it can be overwhelming. I played a couple years in the league, and people were asking me for money like I was a millionaire. And so I dealt with that at a small level. I can imagine what he's dealing with.
Is there someone in this lineup that you think, like, I know people talked a lot about Carlos Santana, not taking pressure off of him because there were no expectations for, Carlos to really deliver offensively, but being able to just support. Is there someone in this lineup that you think can either take pressure off because he delivers or support Julio in a way that he might need?
Oh, it's Randy all day. Yeah. Rosarena, Randy. He can hit for power. He's in the outfield with him, speaks his language, from the same country, has made a bunch of money, could help him be a mentor through all the stuff that he's going through. Yeah, it has to be Randy Rosarena. That's the first thing I thought about, other than his play when the Mariners picked him up, was that is crucial. That is a great pickup, even if it's indirectly, even if Randy isn't thinking, okay, I have to help Julio through this. It's just through conversation, things like that are going to come up, and Randy's going to be able to bless him with some knowledge.
I'm glad you mentioned Randy because Greg Amsinger are expecting a big year from Arozarena.
But I think Randy Arozarena is a guaranteed bounce-back player. I'm actually not worried about Randy Arozarena. Is he going to hit 30 homers? Not in that ballpark. I do think he hits around 25 homers and steals around 30 bases. He was emotional when he was traded for the Tampa Bay Rays. He believed, that organization saved his baseball life because he came up with the Cardinals. That didn't work out. They weren't getting him to the big leagues the way he wanted. And then the whole fiasco where he was on Instagram Live while the manager was talking, and that blew up in his face. And he was embarrassed by it. When he got traded, he didn't want to leave. He sat in the trop with his family, and he was sad. So, I think Randy went through some human issues, and that's the part of this we have to remember sometimes. Let this guy get comfortable. I saw him in camp. He's all smiles. He's excited to play again. I think Randy's a guaranteed bounce-back player for the Seattle Mariners.
Guaranteed. Bounce-back player.
I like the sound of that. I've mentioned it before. He started off so hot with the Mariners, and then as athletes do, especially in baseball, you cool down a bit. But now you've had a full offseason with this organization. Your role is established. You know the guys. And a guy like Randy isn't worried about fitting in once he joins a ball club. Some guys are just natural, especially when you have the resume that Randy has. But there's something to be said when you have an offseason, you spend time with a few guys on the team, and you become a centerpiece. And that's exactly what Randy is. He's a centerpiece. So guaranteed bounce back year for Randy. I would appreciate it. Thank you, please.
Let's see. Some stuff on Dan Wilson as we move from players to manager here.
He's one of us, right? No matter how long Scott Service managed the Seattle Mariners, he was Jerry's guy. It's hard for players to believe that Scott always has their back, or any manager with a very intimate relationship like that, where they are boys and they've been together for a while, and that's his guy, right? That is, again, the human element is always injected in a game that's a marathon like this. Why do you think the Cincinnati Reds pounced on getting a guy like Terry Francona? They knew they had a bunch of young players that were about to turn the corner. Get a guy that knows how to lead them.
Now, whatever you feel about Scott Service, if you think I think he was fundamentally a problem here, one of the struggles that he faced, and I know because I have also heard this from people, one of the struggles that he faced is that he was seen as being connected to Jerry, which makes sense. He was, right? He was brought in by Jerry. I mean, they were together, for their entire tenure until last season when he was fired late in the season. So it made sense that players saw that. But that is a factor in player trust. If players feel slighted by a front office, or they don't get a contract they want, or maybe their friend is traded and they're in a bad place, look at the Kendall Graveman clubhouse environment. Post that trade, probably not great. Really probably not great. You look at your manager, and if you see him as being a right-hand man of someone that you're upset with, do you trust him?
No, of course not.
No.
You understand how much you can trust him, or that you can only reveal certain things because he's obviously connected. It doesn't mean that they don't think Scott was a bad person.
No, I heard only good things.
He didn't have their, he wasn't looking out for them on the diamond in the clubhouse. But they know you report directly to the man, and in a way that connects you and disconnects you from everything else that's going on. And honestly, it has to be like that in sports. You think Dan ain't connected to what's going on upstairs? No. But right now, well, yes, he is. But right now, there's a perception this is brand new. This is fresh. This is Dan. He's different. He's not Scott. But he's connected. Just like Mike McDonald's connected to Schneider and everybody else. It's going to be that way. It's all about how you make the players feel, and if you give them enough and with your integrity to make them think that they can trust you.
I'm really curious about Dan's tenure. I mean, we talk so much about, what players can contribute and what players can bounce back, and it makes sense, right? That's the focus when we talk about how this team can improve. But I'm very curious about what they're going to look like with Wilson, because one thing that we were not experiencing last year with Service, nor the couple years prior, was a new manager, right? He changed over the course of his managerial career. He grew and he learned, and whether or not it was a fit for this team at the end, he was by then experienced. This is someone who's getting this started with his first full year.
Yeah, it's fresh. The car still smells brand new. The paint is fresh in your house or your apartment. But as the season goes along, things will change a bit, but hopefully not in a way that it drastically changes the relationship between him and the players. Because right now it seems like it's really good.
Yeah. Quickly, the couch People sounding off about
They're
what
going
they
off.
would do.
They're going
off about what they would do. And someone else said they had a similar experience where they bought a couch and immediately it started falling apart. So they went back to the store. The store agreed to replace it. But then when they never did, they called the store back and the store was like, well, no, because your couch is falling apart. So you did that. We can't. And this person was like, that's the entire reason I'm here.
Wow.
Like the horrible customer service experiences
All
from
bad.
people. But we're sticking with sports here. 4 football questions. Let's get to 4 down territory.
This is 4 down territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
First down, we have official language for the Packers' anti-tush-push rule change proposal. Walk us through it, and what do you think about it?
All right, the Green Bay Packers are the leader of the new school. They say, let's get rid of the tush push, and their language is, all right, the rule, Rule 12, Section 1, as I push up my glasses.
According to my calculations.
According to my calculations, would prohibit an offensive player from pushing a teammate who was lined up directly behind the snapper and receives the snaps immediately at the snap. We said snap 3 times there. They are emphasizing the snapper in the snap. You cannot be right behind and get a push. So my shot in the dark idea. This is what coaches do. You watch film, you think about some things, and then you go to practice on Monday. You do it on air, and then you line up 3 or 4 linemen, and then you put the whole team together, and it doesn't work, and you toss the play away. That's probably what would happen with this one. I'm saying, all right, listen, put the quarterback right underneath the center. As soon as he snaps it, hands it off to his right. There's a guy behind him, and then you push. It takes longer for it to develop, which will give the defense time to kind of muddy the waters or whatnot. But hey, who knows? Or you can have the center there. It's just right now I'm thinking about it. And there's a snap we used to do in shotgun to where we didn't snap it right back to the quarterback. We snapped it directly to the running back to the right. If they can do that under center, like can the center side snap that thing to a running back or whatnot and get him going, then get a push. There are ways around it. Don't know if it's going to work. Packers, you guys are haters.
Second down. Speaking of calculations, what's lost and gained when you look at the exit of Geno, DK, and Lockett and the arrival of Kupp, Darnold, and MVS?
All right, first time around, I read a whole bunch of numbers to the people. Let me just tell you, look, people are worried about Geno in the red zone, and I guess you should have been. We saw the interceptions, 10 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 48% completion rate. That's 20 yards in him. Sam Darnold, 70% completion rate, 20 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Sam Darnold has more passes over 20 yards, more passes over 30, more passes over 40, more passes over 5 yards. This is just because of personnel and because of decision making and the offensive coordinator. There's other factors in here that go into it. So on paper, you get better in the red zone. You get better at pushing the football down the field. But we know Geno was working with a new coordinator in the game and an offensive line that did not help him out. You take what you want with that information. Next, let's talk about these receivers. When it comes to DK, number 16, Tyler Lockett, and Cooper Kupp and MVS, DK Metcalf had 47 catches over 10 yards. Next best was 16, Tyler Lockett with 27, and then Cooper Kupp had 25. Catches over 20 yards, DK had 23, Kupp had 12. Catches over 30 yards, DK had 6, Kupp had 2. Catches over 40 and 50, DK had 4 combined, Kupp had 2 combined. This is where Kupp gets better than Tyler Lockett are the intermediate type deals. You also have to factor in play calling, down and distance, and then just the way these players have been used. MVS has more catches over 40 and 50 yards than Cooper Kupp and DK Metcalf. So you get more explosive, but you lose some volume. But we also know that play calling availability has something to do with that as well. Cooper Kupp broke more tackles than I thought he was going to be clocked down for. 3, DK 4. You get better in some places, intermediate. You lose in some places with the deep ball. MVS didn't get the opportunities that DK did. But I'm just giving you numbers. You do what you want with that information.
Third down. Back to rules and numbers in 4 down territory. The Steelers have a rule proposal as well, but you might like this idea. What's going on?
So the Steelers propose a couple of changes to the way teams and impeding free agents can communicate during the 2-day negotiating window ahead of the start of the new league year. Typically in this situation, the agent can communicate with the team. The player has absolutely nothing to do with it. And the Steelers are saying we should let these players communicate as well. Also, we should let them have an interview, 1 hour max, and you got to have your agent there on the meeting. If you don't have an agent, then you do it yourself. This just allows the negotiations to be real, because when teams are looking for players, they're not just looking for the guy they see on paper, the guy they see on film. They want to know the person, their personality. Are they going to mesh? There's still deals that get done after that period. We saw Cooper Kupp, that deal got done, and he talks about how he sees the vision and the building blocks of the organization over here. So it worked out for him. But, man, let them get a head start. If you're already negotiating in that 2-day window, let the players be involved too, because you're not just negotiating with the agent, and you're not just acquiring the agent. You're not acquiring the agent at all. You're acquiring the player. So I like this rule. We'll see if it passes. Who knows, though.
4th down. Earlier in the show, we spoke with Rob Staton, author of Seahawks Draft Blog. Anything stand out from our conversation?
I like the way he described the wide receivers for the Seahawks. I asked him, I go, how do you feel about this trio compared to last year's trio and the rest of the league? And he didn't really answer the question. He just said, it's right for them. I can see how this trio can fit into what Kubiak wants to do. And it took me back to Dayton days. Stacy, I dated a couple dimes in my day. A couple dimes. And guess what? I'm not with him today. All right? Because it just wasn't a good fit. Like, yeah, you look good and everyone wants you, but it's just not the right fit for me. You know, then you go in your dating world and you find your person. And I think that's the way that you should approach it. It's not always about the exterior and what it looks like. It's, does this work for me? That's what I thought about when he described what JSN, MVS, and Cooper Kupp would do for this office. It works for them, and he could see it happen.
Now, you don't get to count the dime that you approached in the bar.
She probably wasn't even a dime. She was older than me.
She
was probably a dime to me back then, though.
Obviously, I wasn't there to see and witness what has been one of my favorite stories, but if you're a regular listener, you know. If you're not, it's Bump walking up to a girl he thought was like the baddest, most beautiful girl. And he's, how old are you, 21?
Nah, I got into the bar.
20 with a fake ID?
I was fake ID, 19.
Fake ID, Bump. And he went up, offered to buy her a drink. She said yes, bought her a drink, and then
I just walked away. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. My first time here, the movie said you buy her a drink.
Right.
They didn't say what to do after that.
Well, what did your mind tell you were supposed to do?
It said, get out of there. I have nothing to give her right now.
No. Let's see what's on tonight.
What's on tonight with Bump and Stacy, brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot. Now, here's what's on tonight.
Listen to the Mariners spring training game against the Rangers tonight at 7 p.m. on Seattle Sports. Coming up next, some insight into the DK Metcalf trade from Albert Breer.
Seattle Sports, your home for Brock and Salk. Weekdays 6 to 10.
If I were using those top 5 picks, top priority, interior offensive line. Second priority,
interior offensive line.
Defensive tackle.
Interior offensive line, clearly number 1 for me, and I think there's 2 or 3 guys that at 18 they would absolutely take. I would like to see 2 of the first 3 picks on big people at the line of scrimmage. And all this does is reinforce big people, big people, big people. It's who we are.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
If you've ever wondered if there's something after death, Tyler Henry proves the answer is yes. Be part of his live audience readings and his jaw-dropping ability to connect with the departed at Muckleshoot Event Center, Thursday, July 10th and Friday, July 11th at 8 p.m. Experience this evening of hope and healing, bringing peace and closure to loved ones. Tyler Henry proves our loved ones never leave us. Get tickets at muckleshootcasino.com. Muckleshoot.
Are you working in the refrigeration industry? Are you staying up on current regulations? Well, Local 32 can help advance your career. That's right. Learn more at ualocal32.com. Again, that's ualocal32.com.
Meanwhile, at Xfinity. So, influencer life going well?
Oh, yeah. I'm up to 32 followers.
Oh, that's something.
Yeah, posting my tap dancing videos is easier than ever because we engineered Xfinity Internet with 99.99% network reliability.
Plus, Xfinity Mobile with Wi-Fi Power Boost gives you ultra-fast Wi-Fi at home and on the go. But wait, tap dancing? You don't tap dance.
Hey, what I lack in skill, I make up with passion.
Do more of what you love and love how fast you do it with Xfinity Internet and mobile. And now through April 21st, get 300 megabit Xfinity Internet and 1 unlimited mobile line together for $25 a month for 1 year. And save $1,000 in your first year over Verizon and AT&T. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Savings compared to Verizon 5G Internet plus 1 unlimited welcome line and AT&T Internet 300 plus 1 unlimited starter SL line. Xfinity Internet required. Actual speeds vary. Reduced speeds after 30 gigabits of usage per line. Data thresholds and actual savings vary.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T.
But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With AutoPay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without AutoPay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
We've all been there, sleepless nights, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy knowing we're here for you. BayAlarm.com.
You've heard the saying, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Since 1926, my family's been helping local businesses make great first, second, and long-term impressions. We know how to make your company look good with quality uniforms, logoed apparel, floor mats, linens, and more. If you're paying for linen service or doing it yourself, let's have the conversation. The information and quote are free, but the savings and service can really add up. Visit suplinen.com. Superior Linen Service. It's what we do.
Subscribe to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find new and exclusive content from your favorite shows and personalities daily. Just head to YouTube, search Seattle Sports, and click subscribe. You think your home is pretty cool until that summer heat hits, and suddenly your home isn't that cool. In fact, it's hot. Air conditioning from Washington Energy Services can help. Stay cool this summer with our biggest spring savings event ever. This month only, take up to $4,000 off an energy-efficient Bryant cooling system with exclusive Washington Energy rebates. Ensure your home is always the cool house with air conditioning from Washington Energy Services. Contact us today for a free estimate.
So I formed Davis Law Group about 30 years ago, and I would get, the same questions from people about what to do in the case of an accident. Do you need a lawyer? To the point where I decided that I would at least write a book which would answer the common questions that I would receive as a lawyer. Once I wrote my first book, it proved to be hugely popular. I decided to write then a series of books in different accident cases so that we could really teach people about their rights, how to protect them, and how to decide on whether they need a lawyer and what lawyer to hire. I've found in my career that having a client that is educated and knowledgeable about their particular type of case really helps the client and also usually ends up making the case or the claim more successful. To get your free copy of any of my Washington accident books, visit WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Mr. K's Construction reminds parents to enroll your kids in a positive youth program. Sports, hobbies, and community activities improve overall health and performance in school. These programs decrease drug use and violence and develop self-discipline and leadership skills. Let's team together this year to help our kids reach their full potential. Best wishes to all our kids from the entire team at Mr. K's Construction, committed to making your home and our community beautiful since 1977.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Coming up in 15 minutes, it's What I Need to Know. Get your question, any question, sent to the Mac and Jacks text line now, 866-979-3776. Using this 1:30 segment as kind of a catch-all for a couple things that slipped through the cracks. Since we're just answering questions next, there are a couple things I want to cover. First, one more rule change proposal. This one, Jonathan Jones of CBS Sports is tweeting about this one and curious what you think about it, Bump, being a former specialist. One rule change that could also pass, says Jonathan Jones, is a slight tweak to the kickoff rules. The NFL wants to see a few more kickoff returns. Cool, me too. And I could see the touchback being moved from the 30 to the 35 to encourage such a thing. Then Jonathan Jones adds some confusion, so let me clarify. Moving the touchback to the 35 would further de-incentivize the kicking team from kicking into the end zone, thus forcing more returns.
Kick me the dang ball. I'm all for that. fighting for my life back here trying to stay on the team, and you want to touch back that thing all the time. The kickoff return is one of the most electrifying plays in football. Devin Hester, opening kickoff Super Bowl, to the house. Ted Ginn to the house. Dante Hall to the house. Leon Washington to the house. Tyler Lockett to the house. Man, this changes the game. It's like cheating. It's a cheat code. Offense didn't need to touch the field. You got points real quick. You could have been down. Now you're up. It's just it shifts things so drastically. I love this. Because they've already made it safer, right, with the way that the opposing, I guess, front linemen kind of line up. It's safer in that point. All right, now let's give more opportunity to change the game, because there are some guys who can just specialize in this, who will play 6 years in the NFL just returning kicks. I think we had one, Jalen Darden, right now for the Seahawks. I don't know if he's still with the Hawks or not, if he's signed. But he's a specialist, and if he wasn't a specialist, he wouldn't be in this league right now. I like this.
I do too, and I needed the clarification from Jonathan Jones, and I read you about the rule during the break, because I was thinking about it from the perspective of the receiving team.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, well, is this supposed to be, maybe it went from, like a 30 to 25, or did it, where's the incentive? And then I realized, no, clearly a returning team just wants the ball in the field of play.
Yeah.
You just want, to your
Put it
point,
in play.
I wasn't thinking about it from the perspective of an actual returner of I want a chance to return it. Don't kick it into the end zone. Give me a shot. So I actually think it's a brilliant way to do it, because everyone kind of, if you don't get a chance to return it, or if it is a touchback, cool, you get 5 extra yards. Awesome. They messed up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm here for it. Second thing I want to get to, Albert Breer had his MMQB column from late yesterday, but there was a little nugget that we didn't explore. He offered a bit more insight into DK Metcalf's trade and a potential issue with Geno Smith. I don't know. This is what he says. Again, from Albert Breer, Sports Illustrated. One leftover from my Seahawks reporting over the weekend. One reason for DK Metcalf's departure was that he wanted to be paid now. Not now as in this offseason. Now as in right now in March. The Seahawks typically do extensions with guys under contracts in the summer. Maybe if Metcalf was still around at that point, Seattle would have given him one. But the fact that he didn't want to wait and see, which is understandable given that a promise to negotiate wouldn't guarantee anything, helped drive the trade request. With all that established, I think this was probably a case of that accelerating the inevitable conclusion, given Metcalf and the team already endured some bumps, and then he says things weren't always perfect between he and Geno Smith, and that Jackson Smith and Jigba is one of the young players due to get a deal now over the next year or so in Seattle.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
All that seems legit. We were asked about his relationship with Geno when all this went down. I didn't have enough information to give you a yes or a no. Oh, yeah, him and Geno didn't get along, or no, it was perfect. I just saw them interact on the field, and it didn't seem anything out of the norm of a quarterback-receiver relationship. So good for them. If there was an issue, good for them keeping it in the facility, via text, phone, whatever. Okay, that's fine. And then as far as JSN being paid, he's right. He's going to get paid here pretty soon, and he wanted to make sure that he got what he felt he deserved. And that's where I will never fault a player for going out there, being selfish, or putting himself in a position to where he felt like he was getting what he earned. He's not asking for anything he did not earn. I told you he was worth about $30 million. He's getting about how much? About $33 million. All right. The league will tell you where you value that, and the league told him $33 million. So you combine the apparent struggles in his relationship with Geno to him looking at JSN and realizing it might be hard for them to sign both of them. They could. I mean, we see T. Higgins and Jamar Chase do it, but they're sacrificing in other places. You say, I'm going to get out of here right now because I want to make sure I get mine.
I just liked having the other half of an explanation. I know that it's reported information via Albert Breer and not DK, speaking one-on-one. But, last week during the John Schneider show on with Wyman and Bob, we heard John Schneider say, my plan wasn't to trade DK.
Right.
Clearly he liked DK, wanted DK here, but negotiations stalled. He did say, DK was really professional about it. His agent was great about it. We worked together. We shifted directions, and we got the trade done. It was interesting to hear from Albert Breer. This is what DK's thinking of in that moment. It's not, because we were just wondering, what is he thinking? I'm not going to get 1,400 yards, 1,300 yards. This is going to be a run-first offense. This is a bad offensive line. What's he thinking? Well, maybe what he's thinking is something as simple as, I don't know that I can ask for $32, $33 million in June.
Yeah.
I'm already here. You know what I mean? Like, you can't trade me for draft picks. Teams aren't going to be as desperate.
He loses all the leverage.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's better for him and the team, too, for what you just mentioned. You can't get draft picks in June, July. It's a wrap. All them things are gone. I mean, maybe get a 7th rounder or something like that, but all the good stuff gone already. It's like going to Party City, rest in peace, back in the day.
Party City's gone?
Gone.
What?
No more Party
Where
Cities.
do people get party supplies? Amazon.
Exactly.
I answered my own question.
That's why Party City's out of there. It's like going to Party City the night before Halloween and expecting to get a fire costume. Not happening.
Not happening. I have done that, not to Party City, but there have been many a Halloween where I had to go to a costume place and be like, dang it, I forgot that we agreed to go do this. Let me, pop in
Okay, I guess I'll be a bunny.
No, I was never a bunny. I was a fire person. I was a fire person,
really?
Yes. A Power Ranger.
Nice. The pink one?
The pink one, obviously.
Nice.
And then Britney Spears was my best costume. It was
bet you killed
Oops,
that.
I did it again. I had
Did
people,
you have the little mouthpiece too?
Listen, no, but I had the long wig. I had the red latex. I had people in Cap Hill asking me for photos.
I bet.
Yeah. I was Britney Spears in that moment. Not Britney Spears now, but like Britney Spears in that moment. I was like, I'm a celebrity.
My best costume was Jackie Moon. I had the short shorts. I was in great shape at the time too. So I had the tight shirt. I had the little wig on. I carried a basketball all night.
It would be fun having a prop with a costume because I bet you also like having the basketball. You're just constantly walking down the sidewalk anywhere you go.
I call myself Jerome Moon though, instead of Jackie Moon.
Solid edit to it. Halloween, what a time. Speaking of the last thing that I want to say in my little potpourri of topics, are you getting a million text messages for that toll bill scam?
Yes.
Are you guys getting a million messages for that scam?
I need that.
Here's my complaint. These scammers are getting lazy.
What do you mean?
I mean that you'll get a scam text or whatever, and it'll be like, sarah.h@hotmail.com. And you're like, put some effort in.
No,
what? How offensive.
I did get that, too. I thought you were talking about there's this van that's been going around skipping tolls because they have something that you push a button and it covers up his license plate or her license plate, and they get through. But I did get that. I got that toll scam like 2 days ago. Yeah.
I need, first of all, you guys just be aware of scams in general.
Yeah.
I had to literally call my mom and tell her, do not pay that toll.
Don't do it.
But also, it's hard for me to respect lazy scamming,
Yeah.
Like, you didn't even try to cover up the email.
No, it was lazy. It was like, copy this link and put it onto your engine. And here's the thing is that I use the toll a lot. And unless that toll said X amount of dollars, there's no way I would have thought it was real.
No, I'm just encouraging everyone, actually, like, if you weren't aware of this toll bill scam, please be extra, extra vigilant.
Yeah.
Just as that's my good deed for the day.
That's it.
Extra vigilant. Get your text in to the Mac and Jack's text line 866-979-3776.
Seattle Sports, your home for Brock and Salk. Weekdays 6 to 10.
If I were using those top 5 picks, top priority, interior offensive line. Second priority,
interior offensive line.
Defensive tackle.
Interior offensive line, clearly number 1 for me, and I think there's 2 or 3 guys that at 18 they would absolutely take. I would like to see 2 of the first 3 picks on big people at the line of scrimmage. And all this does is reinforce big people, big people, big people. Mm-hmm. It's who we are.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Who has some of the best deals on new Fords and Isuzus in the Pacific Northwest? Wayscar Ford in Auburn. Who has a large selection of the highest quality used vehicles in the Pacific Northwest? That would be Wayscar Ford in Auburn. What dealership promises no games, no gimmicks, and never any pressure to purchase? Wayscar Ford in Auburn. Who's the only Ford dealer in all of Washington State to offer a 5-day or 500-mile, no questions asked 100% money-back return policy? Wayscar Ford in Auburn. Who offers a free lifetime powertrain warranty on virtually all their new Fords? You're getting very good at this. It's Wayscar Ford in Auburn. Who's the only dealer that will purchase your used car, pay you right up front, and then once they resell your old car, return 50% of the profit back to you? And what dealer has given back over $750,000 to their customers who have sold them their cars? Only Wayscar Ford in Auburn. Finally, what dealership has been family-owned and operated in Auburn for 103 years? You guessed it, Wayscar Ford in Auburn. Visit them at wayscarford.com.
Window Nation customers have been singing our praises for years. With fast, local service and an industry-leading 96% customer satisfaction rating, it's no wonder.
I researched window companies for the last year to see what the average prices were and the quality of work. Window Nation nailed both.
Get 2 windows free with every 2 you buy. Pay no interest for 2 full years. Hurry, this offer ends soon. Schedule a free estimate now. Call 866-90NATION or visit windownation.com. That's 866-90NATION.
Getting engaged? At Shane Company, dream engagement rings are our specialty. We have the most beautiful natural and lab-grown diamonds, hand-picked in every price range, ready to compare side by side. Shop online at shaneco.com or in store. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Riverside Roofing is offering $1,000 off a new roof replacement. Book a free estimate online, and when you meet with Brandon, that's Don's son, tell him you heard the message on the radio station. Go to riversideroofingllc.com. It's Riverside Roofing, the roofing company you can trust.
Unbelievable.
All right. Those are the sounds of tax accountants rejoicing after experiencing the power of Blue Jay, the leading generative AI solution for tax research. Tax season is here, and if you're an accounting firm, the pressure is on. Long hours and tight deadlines make this time of year a challenge for even the most seasoned tax professionals. So, tax accountants, here's your solution. Blue Jay, the preferred partner solution of CPA.com for tax research. Ask a complex tax question, and Blue Jay gives you better tax answers in seconds. Save time and maximize your clients' refunds with high-speed, accurate, and intuitive AI technology built with a library of only the most trusted tax resources, updated daily to keep up with changes in tax. For a limited time, save 40% off at bluejay.com/start now. That's BLUE, the letter J.com/start now. Or text BLUE to 511-511. Blue Jay, generative AI for better tax answers. Text BLUE to 511-511 today. Tax fees may apply.
It's the World Fighting Championships at Emerald Queen Casino Event Center. Saturday night, May 10th. Experience the thrill of live MMA, boxing, Muay Thai, and kickboxing. Tickets at emeraldqueen.com. Don't miss this exciting mixed martial arts event. The World Fighting Championships, May 10th at Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. 21 and older, need gambling help? Call 800-547-6133 or visit emeraldqueen.com.
The John Schneider Show.
Every Thursday until draft day on Wyman and Bob.
Listen live Thursdays at 4 p.m. or watch the interviews on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Lee Johnson culture to me is empowering all of your employees to do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. You know, there are certain things that it doesn't matter what level of employment you are in our organization. If it's not the right thing or it doesn't feel right, they have the ability to take care of the customer and make the decision without asking a manager, without asking an owner. The end result is they can speak to the customer with more confidence. They're definitely more confident in what they're trying to provide the customer, what the customer is trying to accomplish, and just giving them a better experience.
His name is Justin Meek. He's the leader and caretaker of more than 300 full-time employees for the Lee Johnson Auto family. It's the united understanding among Lee Johnson employees that customers are the purpose of our day. The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto.
Can you take the power of your home internet almost anywhere? Well, with Xfinity, you can. Do more of what you love in the places you go the most with internet and mobile together. Xfinity built a network that's 99.99% reliable. Plus, Xfinity Mobile has Wi-Fi Power Boost, giving you ultra-fast Wi-Fi at home and on the go. Get the same reliable network in the places you need the most. The coffee shop, the grocery store, or the game. All to power more of what you love, whether you're a gamer, streaming, or work from home. Whatever you're into, you'll love how fast you can do it with Xfinity Internet and Mobile. And now through April 21st, get 300 megabit Xfinity Internet and one unlimited mobile line together for $25 a month for 1 year with no annual contract. And save $1,000 in your first year over Verizon and AT&T. Plus, ask how to get a free premium 5G phone. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra after promo. Regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary. Savings compared to Verizon 5G, Internet plus one unlimited welcome line, and AT&T Internet 300 plus one unlimited starter SL line. Xfinity Internet required. Reduced speeds after 30 gigabits of usage per line. Data thresholds and actual savings vary.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
It's what I need to know. 866-979-3776. That's the Mac and Jack's text line. And you are sending in any question you have. It can be sports or non-sports. So, for instance, what I need to know Here is a sports one. Bump. While I do understand both sides of the NFL reseeding the playoffs, the biggest reason I've heard for keeping the current format is it places more importance on winning your division instead of it just being an afterthought. If they did redo the seeding, what would be the purpose of having divisions?
Banners. Raise the banner.
Yeah.
Pride. We run the West. That's about it, though.
Yeah, it does. You're right in that the purposes of divisions would be geographical ease of scheduling. Like that would be it.
Yep.
However, the reason I'm okay with the reseeding is that it still doesn't de-incentivize winning.
No, you got to win your ball games.
Yeah. And look, there might be a world where the Seahawks are second in a really, really good NFC West, and then all of a sudden you're happy for an opportunity to host a playoff game. One more game you get to go to. What I need to know, is 40 too old to consider being a dad for a second time, asking for a friend?
Whew. I cannot imagine starting over now because my kids are like 15, 13, and 12. If they were younger and I was 40, like they were below 10 or 8, then probably, I could see that. But because I'm so beyond it, I couldn't imagine it.
I will say, I actually have a friend who just became a first-time dad. They just became first-time parents. I think they're 38 and 40 or 38 and 41.
It's different when it's the first or they're close.
Yeah. So, no. Overall, no. I don't think it's too old to consider being a dad for a second time. But to Bump's point.
How long have you not been changing diapers? That's what it comes down to.
You might need a refresher. Let's see. What I need to know. Are the Seahawks giving the new offensive coaches a mulligan this year for the offensive line? See what you have before making wholesale changes?
I wouldn't say a mulligan. I would say, sometimes when your ball is on the green and then your buddy hits his ball into the green and it kind of hits yours, and you say, oh, it's okay, I'll just put it back to where I think it was. It's not, you don't hit again, but we're gonna allow you to manipulate it just a little bit.
Yeah. What I need to know, which NFL team is the most overhyped based on their actual production?
Cowboys every year.
Every year
it's the Cowboys.
Same with the Giants. Who cares about the Giants? They're a bad team right now.
Yeah, that's mine. Cowboys, Giants.
The only other one I'd maybe throw in is, though I understand it, the Bengals. They're not overhyped nationally. The Bengals and Bengals fans would be like, we don't get attention, but we will talk to death about their biggest stars because they're so good.
Nice.
But they're a team that had that visit to a Super Bowl, obviously lost to the Rams, and then they just don't do enough to support their stars. So it's less about overhyped and more just they're infuriating as a franchise. I feel for Bengals fans out there because, man, does that organization need to do more. Let's see. What I need to know. Let's see. Do you think, what are the odds that we have a rookie starting anywhere on the offensive line this year?
I don't think they're high.
No?
No, because I think that a veteran will be signed, a rookie will be drafted, but this at any point or week one?
Also, let's say week one.
Week one, I don't think it's going to happen.
Because at any point, injury, you can't predict that.
But week one, I don't think so.
Okay. What I need to know, what other team around the NFL are you going to be keeping up with next season based off of free agency?
The Ravens. I like D-Hop over there. I mentioned yesterday, not too many people are talking about that one. The Niners, clearly, because I want to see what the heck they do. They're struggling right now. And I don't know. I can't think of anything else right now.
What I need to know, how well does Ken Walker's running style fit an outside zone scheme?
It fits it if he's patient. And he's shown that he can be patient. But last year, I think there were a bunch of things that compounded the way he ran. There's no trust in the line, wanting to put the team on his back and make a big play. So I think if we get year one, K9, I think he'd be all right.
What I need to know, taco pizza, thumbs up or thumbs down? Now, hang on just a minute.
Taco pizza.
What's a taco pizza?
A pizza with taco toppings. So beef, lettuce, cilantro.
I'll say thumbs down. I don't like pizzas that are like hamburger pizza, taco pizza, like just marinara cheese toppings.
You've had barbecue pizza?
Yeah, but it's not my favorite.
Okay, you like traditional pizza.
I like
you're,
traditional
You're
pizza.
Italian, see?
Exactly.
You want the traditional.
Exactly. For my culture, taco pizzas are super offensive.
Me, I'll try it. I've never had it, but I'd try it.
Yeah. What I need to know, would you rather? So we mentioned the other day that both of us thought like bathroom sink water is just not drinking water. We cannot explain it, but this is science.
Yeah.
Would you rather get a drink from the bathroom sink or do a 3-second rule for food at a friend's house?
Depends on how clean the friend's house is.
Well, exactly.
I do a 3-second. I do a 3-second.
Does it depend on the food you drop?
Yes.
You can't be dropping anything that's going to get dirt.
Something that's wet, you know, like a buffalo wing or something.
Okay.
I'll still do it, though. Buffalo wing, I do a 3-second.
Okay, so you drop a wing on the floor at a friend's house. You cannot pick anything off of it. Do you eat that or do you drink out of the bathroom sink?
I'll drink out of the sink. I'll drink out of the sink.
Gross. What I need to know, do you think the Green Bay resolution should pass? I'm guessing the tush push rule
Anti-tush
proposal.
push?
Yeah.
You must not listen to this show often because I'm against it.
He's been against it the whole
Let
time.
the push continue.
What I need to know, did your parents ever tell you about a different possible name they had for you?
Yeah, it was Marcus. Surprise.
Marcus?
Marcus.
Was that your dad's name?
It's Mark.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to be, if I was a boy, I don't believe my mom. I think she's being funny, but she said Wesley.
It's not a bad name.
No.
Wes? What's up, Wes?
And then it was between Kelly or Stacy. It could have been Bump and Kelly.
Those are like
The same thing.
they're the same name.
Yeah.
I get the same feels when I hear both names.
It's exactly the thing you imagine in your head is exactly the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see the picture of the taco pizza?
No, did someone
Looks
send
bomb.
it in? I just don't.
Looks bomb.
I'm sure it's fine. But would you rather have 5 slices of pepperoni pizza or 5? That doesn't look bomb. That's what they sent
That
in.
looks bomb.
No,
There's
does not.
meat
that
under there.
No, that looks like an unrolled chalupa.
That's bomb.
No, it does not. That does not look good.
Send me a taco pizza, please.
This isn't even a taco pizza. This is a pizza dough with lettuce on top.
Lettuce, tomatoes, onions. The beef is underneath.
And then you know what you're going to do? You're going to fold that in half and you're just eating a chalupa. It's just a cheesy gordita crunch.
And those are awesome.
Yeah, but they're awesome in content. They have to follow the rules. Food has to follow rules.
Follow the rules.
Okay? I didn't make up the rules. Food just has to follow it. And something tastes better about eating a taco I buy from Taco Bell versus folding up a taco pizza in half like a taco.
Oh, my God.
No, I don't want it. I don't want it. Get it off my show. Get it off the text line. I don't want it here. This has been Bump and Stacy. If you missed any part of the show, make sure you check out the Bump and Stacy podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google Play, or SeattleSports.com. Wyman and Bob coming your way next.
Seattle Sports, your home for Wyman and Bob. Weekdays 2 to 7.
The Sam Darnold contract details, it's essentially a one-year deal if they want to get out of this.
It looks like a good deal to me. I don't think there's anybody that could be sideways about this contract.
I think this is a great deal. I think John nailed it.
There is some question as to which Sam Darnold it is. There was those pesky 6 years where it wasn't good for Sam Darnold.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Washington State ranks number 5 in the country for auto theft. The most high-risk vehicles are Kia, Hyundai, Ford F-150, F-250, and F-350. Help keep your car safe with these simple and important tips. Don't leave your car running unattended. Park in well-lit areas. Lock up every time. Keep valuables out of sight. Use an anti-theft device like a steering wheel lock. Share this information with friends and family. Prevent the theft and keep you and your vehicle safe. These tips brought to you by the Washington Auto Theft Prevention Authority.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Could you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
John here with Happy Hauler. Furniture and household items you plan to throw away? We'll take them and prioritize donating and recycling, keeping items out of the landfill. Happy Hauler is Seattle's eco-friendly junk removal. HappyHauler.com, hauling with a heart.
Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. The best place to watch all your favorite sports. Featuring wall-to-wall viewing screens, 6 windows, and 30 kiosks. Be there at emeraldqueen.com. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
Febreze. It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now, all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot doot, and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh, yeah.
And we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Free at every AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
What's up, everyone? It's me, the Mariners Gatorade Cooler, and I wouldn't trade my view from the dugout for anything. Watching Logan Gilbert mid-shutout, taking a breather right beside me, he is calm, collected, and fully locked in. Keep it coming, Walter.
Swing and a miss. Logan Gilbert, 6 straight strikeouts.
And Victor Robles running by me with the trident in hand. I'm getting chills just thinking about it. And that's not just because I'm filled with ice.
How about Victor Robles? And landed all the way to the second deck.
And when Cal walks it off, oh, you know what time it is.
A walk-off grand slam for Cal Raleigh.
It's celebration time. And they never see me coming. Mariners baseball, Trident Sun.
Don't miss Mariners opening day next week. Lock in your seats for Thursday, March 27th, and check out all the festivities on the first homestand, including Randy Arozarena Cross-Armed Hoodie Night, Friday, March 28th, and Julio Bat Flip Bobble Giveaway, Monday, March 31st to Wednesday, April 2nd. Get your tickets at mariners.com.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your RV, RV wins.
What, are you going to take the RV to the mountains or go pick up your dry cleaning? RV wins! Are we cleaning the gutters or taking the RV camping? RV wins! Are we getting a new passport or cruising up the coast? RV wins!
Don't forget, you got that trip to Sweden coming up.
Oh, yeah, passport, then RV. Yeah!
With Progressive, you can bundle your RV with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings in your RV. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states and situations.
T-Mobile Home Internet is all about speed, value.
What you doing, Zach?
I'm rehearsing. There are so many benefits. You got to talk fast.
T-Mobile Home Internet ranks #1 in customer satisfaction for home wireless internet by J.D. Power.
Wow, you are good.
Try singing it. T-Mobile has price lock.
They won't raise your rate on internet.
Hulu and Paramount Plus on there.
On there.
Get T-Mobile Home Internet all in for just